Welcome back to the Ryco Monday Night Performance Top Split on GridVision. We're here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where we're sure to see plenty of action across our two races here tonight. I'm Austin Edstrom, standing alongside Nick Stein, and we've also got Austin Derbyshire in the production booth as always. Looking forward to getting this race kicked off here, Nick.
Yeah, Las Vegas is always a fun track. Sin City, you gotta make some gambles here tonight. There, I did it, Darby. But anyway, tonight's gonna be a really, really fun race, I think. Both races should be fun. Vegas always puts on a show, especially in the Cup car here on iRacing, so it should be a really fun one tonight.
Weren't you complaining about the gambling anecdotes here earlier in the pre-race, and now as soon as we get on broadcast, you're shouting out our producer for it? I'm a little confused. But yeah, Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
He's still a C-tier producer. Come on, man.
We're gonna see whose side Lady Luck is on here tonight across the A Open and B Open top split events here tonight. Just came off a great week of racing at Atlanta. We're gonna go into our standings, I do believe, here to kick off the broadcast. There it is. Finally, we got it pulled up. We are on C-tier hours. We got Garrett Maines up top leading the points. No surprise there. Who would have ever thought Garrett Maines would be leading the points in an open series? Jacob Schneider not too far behind in second. Sean Conklin keeping them close, keeping them right well in the windshield. They're in third place. Trent Dinkle, Joseph Gulata, Nicholas Roman, Matt DiCiani, Joshua Watson, and Johan Seminario round out your top 10 in the point standings through 2 weeks of action here in the A Open Series.
Taking a look here at our aerial view of Las Vegas. Of course, opened in 1971 on May 16th. Of course, my birthday month, so that means it's automatically the best track. 9 degrees of banking there on the start-finish line. This one's always a fun one. You'll see a lot of guys cutting that apron to get onto the flat part to try and cut a little bit of time. And of course, you got to watch out for the bumps in those incredibly 20-degree banked corners there in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So something to watch out for. Just watch those bumps because they are bumpy. Very, very bumpy.
Yeah, surprisingly flat mile and a half whenever you compare it to the other cookie cutter style of racetracks. I believe most of the others, if not all of them, except for maybe Kentucky, are banked higher than the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And this is actually more than the original configuration. Las Vegas used to be just about flat going around the corners 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, both very, very flat, very slow corners. They've since upgraded it to the 20-degree banking. And that leads to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway we have on action for us tonight here on the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. Keys to the races, Nick.
And some keys to the race here tonight. Of course, you gotta save that right rear, especially in the next gen. If you go too hard here at Las Vegas with the high track temps and the high speeds, you will burn that right rear off, and you're gonna be an incredibly loose race car. And of course, next, you gotta avoid the bumps in 1 and 2. The bumps are worse in 1 and 2 than they are in 3 and 4. This track is known for being bumpy, but you gotta watch them in 1 and 2. So don't be surprised to see some people running that middle line. And of course, third key to the race, be ready to gamble. You're in Sin City. It's going to be a fun one tonight, and you got to be ready to make that bold strategy call that could get you a few positions here.
Yeah, you never know. We could get a late race caution to kind of bunch the field up, and we'll see who takes 2 tires, who takes 4. Maybe we get an old classic style fuel race that we have kind of been so sorely missing in the Cup Series of recent years. But maybe we can get that tonight as we move into our broadcast picks. I've got the 4 of Zach Novak. I think he's going to bring it home with the checkered flag here at Las Vegas.
I took the 14 of Derek Heitman. Of course, 14 in Sim, 76 on track. And I do believe Darby picked, if I'm not mistaken, he picked... Who did
Bobby
he pick?
Zielinski.
Bobby Zielinski, yeah, that guy.
Still got a little bit of time before qualifying is over, approximately 30 seconds, and then we're going to get the field gridded up. But we're going to check out our weekly schedule here at GridVision. Obviously tonight with the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split event, 2 races back-to-back every Monday night. You'll have to catch us from Phoenix next week as well. But Tuesday night, tomorrow, we got the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series on offer for you. And then also, I can't tell, that might be a new series that I'm not aware of. The Stars. I don't know exactly what that is. Man, I'm going to need my producer to fill me in, but that's a Charlotte Roval Star Series at the Charlotte Roval, sorry. But then the Thunderclap Series starts up on Wednesday, Daytona International Speedway. Be there or be square at 8:30 Eastern. And then obviously we'll be back here on Friday night, back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Ryco Performance Friday night NIS Top Split race number 3. Sure to be exciting. I'm sure the next-gen cars are going to put on a really, really good show around the mile and a half. It really kind of is pack racing for about 20 laps until the tires wear out. So it ends up being pretty exciting from the broadcast booth, even though it's very, very frustrating from the driver's seat, as we're about to see here. As we run through our starting lineup, Jacob Schneider starting on the pole, Trent Dinkel in second, Garrett Maines heading up row number 2 with Shane Davis in 4th, Brandon Bikey in 5th, James Houghton 6th, Bobby Zielinski qualifies in 7th with Joshua Watson in 8th, Joseph Squared in 9th, and Paul Bergoli rounds out your top 10.
Brad Newman in the 19 machine going to be starting in 11th place tonight with Matt DeCiani in 12th. Derek Heitman, my pick for the race, going to be starting in 13th position with Tucker Minter in 14th. Zach Roethlisberger going to be starting in 15th with Brandon D. Evans in 16th. Taylor Hurst setting the final time on the cue boards in 17th position with Zach Novak in 18th. Jordy Lopez in 19th and Ray Alfala in 20th position.
21st is Nicholas Roman with Dylan Alt in 22nd, Garrett Lowe in 23rd, Matt Busa 24th, Joseph Galata in 25th, Johan Seminario in 26th, Kwame Scott in 27th, and Joseph Pisciata in 28th. It's going to round out your entire field here from Las Vegas. Can't wait to get this thing kicked off. I mean, this ends up being a really fun race every time I see it. Like I mentioned earlier about the NIS Open on Friday night, obviously in the Next Gen Cars, we've got this here tonight in the Next Gen Cars with the A Open Series. It's going to be really hectic. It's going to be a lot of pack racing for a long while, and it's going to look really, really good on broadcast. But it's really frustrating for the driver's seat, man. I mean, it gets really irritating until it kind of spreads out a little bit. Just kind of seems like we're on repeat. It's like Atlanta over and over again for the first 20 laps on tires.
Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks of racing at Las Vegas. That's usually why I like to sit in the back and just kind of either let everyone wreck themselves or B, let everyone burn their tires off. So that may be a strategy we see a couple of guys take part in tonight in order to try and get that track position. But you are right. This is a very frustrating but rewarding track if you get it right to race on. So it is definitely going to be a challenge for these guys tonight. And it's going to be a fun one at that because you got a lot of pro drivers in here. Of course, it is a Coke Series week, so we do have a good amount of those eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series drivers in this race.
Yeah, and I say it's going to be pack racing and whatnot at the beginning, but I've never really seen a split this top heavy, right? I've never seen this many good drivers in a top split event like this at Las Vegas. So it could race a little bit different. Sometimes you see a little bit different style of racing whenever you get the best of the best out there compared to, if it's just normal top split. So I'm interested to see what we get going on here tonight. I feel like we could have a really, really good kind of race. I think it might be a little bit different than what we normally see at Las Vegas. I feel like these things can kind of end up being wreck fest, and we can get a little too big for our britches here in the early going. But I'm hopeful for tonight. I think we're going to get a heck of a show in. Just seems like we've been blessed with so many good races lately. I feel like we're on a roll. We need to keep it going. Jacob Schneider leading us out of turn number 4. Trent Dinkel on his outside on the front row. Pace car making its final time around NASCAR 3 and 4 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Late turn off for the pace car. Jacob Schneider leads us down to the restart zone. Barney the flag man waves the green flag, and Jacob Schneider leads us to green at Las Vegas.
Incredible push there from Garrett Maines to get Jacob Schneider out to a solo lead, and that outside line just went absolutely nowhere. The first, I believe, 2 or 3 cars just absolutely left that outside line for drying. And did Jacob Schneider get a black flag?
He must have, man. I mean, he pulled off to the bottom of the racetrack immediately off of turn number 2. Didn't even think about staying up on the track, so he must have gotten a black flag on that start. Must have jumped it just a little bit early, but I don't know. It looked like he jumped it at the right time. Maybe he was just speeding up to the green flag.
Yeah, I just looked, and he does have a black flag, so that's going to be a very, very bad start to the race for that O2 machine, and probably going to spell the end of his race if this one does go green, but of course, it is top split. It is a very high SOF, and you just have no idea what's going to happen in these races.
Yeah, and as they're side by side, I was talking about how it's a little bit like a super speedway style race for a little while. You get the pack racing. Everybody's still saving their tires a good bit, though, and like I was talking about with this being kind of a top of the top split, I think we're going to see a lot of guys smartly tire save and not push the issue in the early going of these runs on the tires, that is. And I think we're going to end up seeing see it spread out a little bit earlier. Not be like complete pack racing. I mean, I say that we're just about 4 wide in the back of the pack going down into turn number 3, but they sorted out 3 wide. Still 3 through 3 and 4 back towards mid pack, but Garrett Maines side by side with Trent Dinkel for the race lead coming to the line. start of lap number 4. Our lap ticker is a little off this evening, it seems, at the beginning. It's actually not changing whatsoever. We're on lap number 4 out of 100.
Yeah, you were mentioning that these races do seem to be pack races for a while, but that goes back to the point I was making that we can predict all we want about these races, but you just like I said, it goes back to that. You just never know what's going to happen here. It's top split, so pretty much anything that we say is probably going to be proven wrong within a few seconds.
That's a fair point. That's definitely that could definitely be accurate. Trent Dinkle getting the push down to the inside. Brandon Bikey shoving him through, trying to clear Garrett Maines on the exit of turn number 2. That Tim Conti Sim performance machine on the inside, trying to get it done. Garrett Maines on the outside.
And what Garrett Maines
12 up in front.
Apologies about that. What Garrett Maines is doing is really smart there. He was sitting on the outside of Trent Dinkle there, really trying to make him wear out his right rear, because if you sit on top of another driver and just kind of sit there and don't really move and just kind of let them burn their stuff off, they're going to fall back pretty quickly. And I think we're already starting to see that, even though it's only lap 6 here.
Yeah, you can see, like I said just a moment ago, I feel like it's going to sort out a little bit better than normal just because of who's in the field. And, you know, it's sorting out to just about 2 wide all the way through the mid-pack. The front 6 have single-filed out. And I just feel like that's what we're seeing with the saving tires. We still see people making moves to the inside. Brandon Bikey on the inside of Bobby Zielinski. I think that's just, there's still some people that are a little impatient. They want to get up to the front, want to try to lead some laps. After all, this is a really heavy top, heavy split. And I feel like, you know, leading some laps in this would be a pretty good confidence boost for anybody out here.
Yeah, that's something that we're probably going to see is, you know, track position is incredibly important here at Las Vegas, especially if you're in a higher split, like, you know, we've mentioned 400 freaking times today. But track position is of utmost importance here tonight, purely because of how difficult it is to pass here. I mean, you see these guys going 2, 3, 4 wide, and you're sitting here like, Dick, what are you talking about? You being an idiot over here. No, it's actually very, very hard to pass here. I mean, you saw Garrett Maines. He had to sit on the top of Trent Dinkle there for a few laps just to get him to kind of back off and start to save his tires, just to complete the pass there, purely because of how hard it is. I mean, it is stupidly hard to pass here.
And we see Brad Newman making it look easy, going to the outside of our race leader, Garrett Maines, actually taking the lead away from him at the stripe, taking lap number 9. Move Brad Newman to the top of the chart. Just as you were talking about how difficult it is to pass, Brad Newman just absolutely finds a 6th gear and powers around the outside around everybody. I mean, where the heck did he come from?
And there goes back to my point, as soon as we say something, then we get proven wrong in 5 seconds.
All night. It'll be all night.
That's going to happen more than once tonight, I can guarantee.
I mean, he's got to be pushing his stuff way more than everybody else. He has absolutely gapped Garrett Maines here at the beginning. And he was booking it through 3 and 4. Oh, they're 3 wide for 2nd place here. Garrett Maines on the outside.
Ooh.
Able to take that position back away from Trent Dinkle. Looks like Zach Novak's trying to make that inside line work. Still not quite able to do it.
I'll tell you what, Trent Dinkle is in a Coke Series sandwich right now. He's got Garrett Maines in front of him, Zach Novak behind him, and right behind him is the one car of Bobby Zielinski. So Dinkle is in a very precarious spot here if things do get kind of haywire, which I do expect him to get here because it is Las Vegas, let's be honest.
To go back to the tire talk we were talking about earlier, or how hard certain people were pushing and how soft some people were racing here in the early going, just saving tires. You know, if you push hard in the early going and hang on to some spots, or you pick up a lot of spots at the beginning and hang on to them, and then you catch the caution at the right time and everybody has to take 4 tires, man, you look like a genius. And everybody else that was saving tires is scratching their head like, man, I lost a spot to that guy, I lost a spot to that guy, I lost a spot to that guy. And it's frustrating, man. So I couldn't imagine. I feel like we're just kind of looking at that. We got plenty of tire sets here, so I think we were seeing certain people, like Brandon Bikey was running really hard earlier. He's starting to drop a little bit. As we see a couple of the higher Coke Series guys coming through. I just feel like a couple of the guys that were pushing their tires really early, like I feel like Brad Newman is right now, is going to start hurting. But if they can just hold on to that track position and then that caution comes out, man, they could be saved and just have a ton of track position they would have not had otherwise.
Yeah, that's the thing with the tire sets here in the Open. You get 3 sets of tires for this race, so if that you got a lot of these guys are thinking of it as if you make it 34 laps, then you can push as hard as you want. So I think that's what we're seeing Brad Newman do here is he's trying to push as hard as he can for that 34 laps, just so he really doesn't have to worry about tires. Whereas you see people like Garrett Maines, Zach Novak, and Trent Dinkle kind of, you know, just sitting back, waiting for Newman to burn his tires off and gain that position back. And, that's a really good mentality to have, is if you see someone pushing like Newman is, sit back and say, hey, he can burn his stuff off. I'll pass him in 10 laps.
I mean, he's just about broken the draft with the rest of the pack. He was absolutely flown away from these guys. But again, like you're talking about, he's going to be hurting here in probably 5 laps. I mean, it's not going to be anything, and Garrett Maines is going to be all over the back bumper, and he's not even going to be able to fight for that position. So he's going to need that caution relatively quickly. They're still racing pretty hard here in the middle of the pack. About 6th place on back. Brandon Bikey side by side with Bobby Zielinski, and they're all 2 by 2 behind him coming to the stripe. 14 laps completed here on the lap number 15.
I mean, you say Brad Newman should be falling off here in a couple laps.
He
just ran his fastest lap of the race, a 29.669.
15 laps in.
Yeah, I'm looking through the field. A lot of guys have just run their fastest lap of the race. I mean, Garrett Maines just ran a 29.8. Zach Novak's fastest is a 29.7 a couple laps ago. Trent Dinkle a 29.7 just now. Garrett Lowe just ran a 29.6. I mean, a lot of these guys are starting to run their fastest laps, so maybe these guys did really start to save, and maybe Brad Newman really did save for the first part of that stint and is now starting to pick it up, possibly.
Oof. I mean, he could have definitely saved really hard at the beginning and then picked it up, but at some point it's still going to come back and bite him, right? He's going to even out with the rest of these guys at some point and fall back in their clutches, I would think. I mean, he's a whole second ahead of these guys. I didn't think anybody would pull out to that big of a lead at any point tonight, unless a run went 30, 35 laps. We had a green flag cycle. He's gone. I mean, he's absolutely put these guys in the dust as they're just about 3 wide through 1 and 2. Trent Dinkle being the big loser on that one, falling back to the 5th place position. Garrett Maines up to 2nd. Zach Novak side by side with Garrett Lowe for that P3 position. Ends up falling back to Garrett Lowe, and Trent Dinkle being side by side for the 4th place as Zach Novak skates to the top side of the racetrack in 3 and 4 to get that big run off, trying to challenge Garrett Maines for that 2nd place position.
Oh, Zach Novak to the outside of Garrett Maines here through the trial. Maines goes up to block it, but one thing I wanted to bring up is, I mean, Newman's able to pull out to such a lead because of how bad, this is something I really didn't bring up. Dirty air here at Las Vegas is the worst out of any track. I am willing to argue that as well. I genuinely think dirty air, with how these next gens drive and how the diffusers work, I genuinely think dirty air is the worst here at Las Vegas. So I think that's why they're losing out so bad, is purely because of how bad the dirty air is.
Well, you still got to think, though, Garrett Maines and Zach Novak have pretty clean air, huh? I mean, I know they're running side by side at this point, so it makes sense they're slowing each other down. But
I mean, you see right there, Garrett Maines getting incredibly loose. It's because they're racing side by side so hard. That's why they're not really gaining, is because of how hard these guys are racing. But I mean, you're sitting here like, Nick, come on. I mean, the guys behind could probably have some better tires. No, not with this dirty air. I don't really think anyone can kind of break this bubble, I guess is a good way to put it.
I just can't believe how far he scooted out there. I mean, he's got 1.3 seconds on these guys just about. It blows my mind. I would not have thought anybody would come up here and just absolutely charge away from the race lead. And again, I still think he's got to come back to him, right? There's no way in hell that he's going to hold on to a second gap. It's already fallen down to 1.1 here. He must have had a little bit of a nervy 1 and 2. I don't know. It's just those tires are going to wear off at some point, man. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, they will wear off. I'm not trying to argue that. What I'm getting at is that they really can't catch him purely, because of how hard they're racing right now. So I do think he will start to fall off here, and it definitely looks like he's starting to fall off as that gap has come down. It's sitting at 1.2 now, is 1.4 a couple laps ago, but it is surprising. Yeah, they're starting to pull it in, but it's definitely surprising to see him pull out that far.
Either way, Brad Newman lead the way. Lap number 21 coming to 22 at the line. Still has a pretty good gap over these guys, but they've kind of single filed out. I think they're a little bit more committed to running them down now. It seems like they're just kind of committed to each other's back bumper. Garrett Lowe, Zach Novak, Garrett Maines, Trent Dinkle, all single file 2 through 5, and they're single file even further back. Takes about 7, 8 rows deep before we've got that first side-by-side battle going down into turn number 3. But everybody else right in front, just single file, trying to catch our race leader of Brad Newman.
And they are pretty successful right now running this single file group in here, as they've pulled them in a few tenths here. Gap was 1.0, and now it's down to 0.8 of a second. So I think they finally realize. Ooh, debatable.
How far back, man? I mean, it's got to be to the back. He's gonna be
I
gone.
gotta think Brad's hoping for a caution here. That's what he's got to be.
Brandon Bike gets spotted in turn number 3. Comes back up on the racetrack. He stopped in the middle of the corner. The caution's not out. It's still green. He was stopped in the middle of turn number 3, and the caution flag stays in the flagman's pocket. He's waving that green flag at the top. Brad Newman still leads the way.
Timing.
That should have been a caution.
Timing.
I've never seen a car go 360 through the infield of turn number 3, not come back up the racetrack and bring out a caution. I don't.
That should have been a caution, but that timing though.
I don't understand what it is. The last 2 weeks have been insane like that. Brandon Bikey.
Oh.
What number is that that was below him there? I couldn't quite tell.
Okay, how is that not a caution? How is that not a caution?
He's just about stopped, man. He's just not sideways though, so no caution. He's not sideways. Not sideways.
Yeah, yeah, but the limit's 30 degrees parallel to the racing line. I gotta bet he was pretty close to that 30-degree mark.
Well,
I don't know, bro. I just work here.
Oh, Brad Newman's finally under a challenge. Garrett Lowe getting to his inside. Zach Novak gonna follow him through. Garrett Maines is a little bit further trek back. Brad Newman might try to fit in that gap, but I think he's just gonna be a sit and duck. Garrett Maines is gonna dive it down to the inside. Take that 3rd place. Trent Dinkle gonna come through, try to take 4th, but it looks like he might blend up behind Brad. Yeah, Brad comes up side by side with Garrett Maines here, but Trent just gonna follow Garrett Maines down to the inside. Knows those new tires, or the better tires that is, are gonna prevail there on the inside through 3 and 4. He'll get a better run than Brad coming out. Brad gets a little sideways. Trent has to keep it off of him. Actually not able to make the move, but Brad already back to P4 after just 1 lap in the pack. I think it's just gonna get worse with that dirty air.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, they were off of turn 2 that last time. He was side by side with Garrett Maines, but he might as well have been side by side with God with how loose he was off of turn number 2 there. So he's definitely going to be struggling for some handling here. And I mean, you already see how bad his tires are. A 3-car breakaway just about there as Garrett Maines, Zach Novak, and Garrett Lowe. Ooh, I got those two mixed up.
He's essentially serving as like a stopgap. He's going to go back in rows, and it's going to like separate the pack up into a bunch of little mini packs. Because we got the front 3 absolutely skating away at this point in front of Brad. And everybody else is just kind of stuck here. Trent Dinkle to the inside of Brad Newman before we get down to turn 3. But again, Tucker Minter chooses the top side, pushes Brad Newman, keeps him side by side with the 9, and keeps the front 3 pushing away. I mean, it's just kind of extending the stay up here, or where they're just not able to kind of challenge our front 3 leaders. They're all stuck behind Brad Newman. Now Tucker Minter dives to the middle, trying to take the position away from both. Trent Dinkle going backwards. Tucker Minter going towards the front in the middle lane. Move him up to P4 as Brad Newman continues to skate to the back of the pack.
I tell you what, we're keeping our eye on this, but look at well, as I say it, they are no longer side by side, but Zach Novak and Garrett Maines were having a pretty good battle for about a half lap while they were going 3 wide through 3 and 4, and it looks like Zach Novak may be possibly coming back here at the 12 of Garrett Maines, but that's this battling that they're doing in the top 3 is starting to bring the rest of this pack back into this race.
Yeah, the second pack is starting to get into it. They're Trent Dinkle, Tucker Minter side by side for that P4 position, but they've still got a head of steam on the guys up in front. We're nearing the 1/3 mark here of our coverage of the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We're going to take our first commercial break of the evening. Stick with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split, where we have yellow flag pit stops. Unfortunately, we did have a caution on the Speedway. Just a couple of laps ago, we saw Bobby Zielinski get turned around in the tri-oval. We're going to get a quick look back on that. We're going to get that GridVision replay loaded up here just in a second for you guys. Got to get a look at Bobby Zielinski going around. I think there was a little bit of contact in the middle of 3 and 4 between him and Joseph. They kind of put him a little squirrely at one point. Yeah, Joseph just runs over the back of him through 3 and 4. He ends up saving it. And then Bobby comes up the racetrack. Oh, and Brad Newman gets turned up at the top, down into Bobby Zielinski. Zielinski, our producer's pick, noses it into the outside wall. Takes a little bit of damage to the front bumper of that. I imagine it's a Toyota. I couldn't quite tell with how dented in that front bumper was. But Bobby Zielinski going to have to come down, get some damage repair. But everybody else also came down pit road, got 4 fresh tires, filled that tank up with fuel.
I tell you what, it's been a running theme this year that we've been doing broadcasts in 2024 that whoever Darby picks in races seems to wreck out before halfway. But by gosh, can he pick people who qualify? Because the one time he's made a qualifying pick, the dude got pole. So good for you, Darby, I guess.
He picks race winners every now and again. If they don't wreck out, they win. It's just debatable. The standard.
Debatable. Every broadcast I've done with him, his pick is wrecked out before halfway. So,
well, before we get this thing kicked back off, we're gonna take some time to shout out our presenting sponsor, Ryco Performance. At Ryco Performance, we're more than a setup shop. We are a performance provider, preparing you weekly with data and setups to get you ahead of the curve of the competition. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or a weekend warrior, our cutting-edge data packs and one-on-one coaching sessions are tailor-made to push the limits of yourself and your virtual race car, giving you the winning edge you crave. Why choose Ryco? Expert craftsmanship by a team of seasoned builders, cutting-edge performance enhancements tailored to your vehicle, unrivaled coaching, and reliability to handle the most demanding circuits on the iRacing platform. For more information, visit us at Ryco-motorsports.com, where we build champions and deliver results. Shout out to Ryco Performance for putting on this Monday night Top Split event. Week in and week out, we get to bring you the A Open and B Open Top Split events of the evening, week in and week out, all season here on GridVision. We're getting ready to go back green. Garrett Maines on the front row, leading us down to the green flag. Lap number 38 out of 100. Still got one more round of pit stops to go before we get down to the end of this thing. So we might see a little bit of tame racing here for a little while, but something tells me these guys aren't going to keep it in their pants for too long.
Yeah.
I was laughing before I even said it.
Jesus Christ, Austin. Oh my God. You just wrecked my train of thought. I had a point I was going to make, and I just lost it. I don't even know how to react.
It's a good thing because they're wrecking behind. You got plenty of time to find it. No, they save it. We're not going to go to caution. They'll save it in the infield grass. 3 drivers going around on the exit at turn number 4. Oh, man. That almost was a big one on lap 1 of the restart. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking with that one. I'm glad we got that little half wreck to put us back on our correct train of thought. We're going to get a replay back of that before I can throw us back off course.
Oh, someone gets on the apron there, and groundskeepers hate them. Doing some lawn mowing there, unfortunately, but they all keep it straight.
Yeah, as they were able to save their race cars at the rear end of the field. Up front, Garrett Maines has been switching both lanes in front of Zach Novak. In front of Trent Dinkle. Able to stay in front of both for now, but Zach Novak coming down to the inside, trying to get that side draft, but he gets pulled back by Trent Dinkle down the back straightaway, not able to complete the run on Maines, but he still dives it down deep into turn number 3, full throttle on the inside. Zach Novak going through to the point. Garrett Maines could not even do anything to stop that move, and now Trent Dinkle's pushing Novak through on the inside.
Trent Dinkle now on that inside in that 9 machine, going to give another big shove to the 5 of Zach Novak into the corner. Going to back off, though, try to build up the run here, and Garrett Maines falling back fairly quickly here. It looks like it's going to be Zach Novak keeping that lead for a while, as here comes Garrett Lowe now. It's the Garrett and Garrett show for 3rd position into turn 3.
Yeah, side by side, through 3 and 4, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, all throughout the mid-pack of this field from about 4th on back to 12th. Everybody 2 by 2, racing hard for position, but still trying to save those tires, and I think that's what we're seeing with Garrett Maines. Just knowing, a little bit of contact behind. I think, was it Joshua Watson getting up? I couldn't quite tell who he got up into.
Yeah, it was Josh Watson, and it was a 97 car that he got up into.
Oh, Tucker Minter.
Yeah, Tucker Minter. Great save for that 97. I don't know how he saved that. That was amazing. But here comes Brad Newman looking to make it 3 wide here, but he's going to back out of it here as he realizes now Tucker Minter is below Garrett Maines.
And I think we all know Brad Newman's strategy. It's get to the front of the field as quick as possible and hope a caution comes out. And everybody gets recycled back on tires. So I think we're going to see Brad Newman up here challenging Zach Novak in a couple laps.
Hey, I mean, sometimes that's a pretty good strategy. Like, if you're in a wreck fest of an A Open like I usually am down in 2nd and 3rd split, it's a pretty darn good strategy, I won't lie.
Oh, you're outing yourself as a maybe
3rd split warrior, baby.
Oh, man.
3rd split warrior.
Looking at Ray Alfala here in the number 6, coming up the start-finish line. Obviously 69 on your screen. Coming up side by side for that 2nd place position with Trent Dinkle. Able to take that spot pretty easily down on the inside. Lined up now with Zach Novak 1 and 2 down the Nell straightaway here at Las Vegas. Ray Alfala able to take that 2nd place position multiple time Coke Series champion, putting that experience to use here coming through the field.
Yeah, Ray Alfala now to the rear end of the 5 of Zach Novak. I do believe these two had a pretty darn good championship race battle at Homestead a few years ago where Zach Novak came out on top. So looks like old rivals doing it again in an official race. So this should be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, as they're kind of single filing out towards the front of the field, they're bunching up pretty good here toward the entrance to turn number 3, just about 3 wide, just about 4 as Brad Newman almost gets split through the middle, coming out of turn number 4. Does get plugged in there. Nicholas Roman on the outside, Tucker Minter on the inside of Brad Newman. Newman trying to get through this field as quick as possible. Use those new tires, just about gets into the left rear quarter panel of Nicholas Roman. Entering turn number 1, and they're 3 by 3, 2 rows deep, coming out of turn number 2. Oh, a little bit of contact coming out of the corner.
Wait, remind me again, we're not at a plate track, are we?
Didn't I tell you this was going to be super speedway racing for a little bit?
Yeah, you did, but we're not at a plate track. I had 3 straight plate races.
I warned you, man. I warned you.
Oh man, this is an absolute hornet's nest here. I genuinely am surprised that none of them have been sideways yet. There's been a couple of close moments, but it is genuinely impressive how these guys have not all wadded up a ton of race cars here.
I mean, to be fair, we've sent through some spinning through the infield grass. We had another one get spun into turn 3 and a caution didn't come out. So we're just there
it is. Brad Newman.
Oh, Brad Newman
around.
Gets sent sideways, spin it back up across
Josh
the field,
Watson.
takes out. Is the caution still not? Caution finally comes
There
out.
it
My
is.
goodness.
Wow.
He was spinning
Why
sideways
did that
in front of the
take
field.
so long?
Yeah, I was just about to say we're being really stingy with the cautions tonight. And they were They waited a long time to throw that yellow, man.
Oh, I'll tell you why we didn't get the caution for a while. It's because we're not on Fox. You know, they can't generate the cautions on iRacing. Sorry, I had to.
We're throwing it out there. We're throwing out the dirty laundry.
Put it out. Put it out. Debris turn 3.
Speaking of dirty laundry, somebody needs to pick up that front bumper. Just missing on the off of the front end of Brad Newman. Oh, he just drifted up off the bottom of turn number 4. Honestly, I kind of put that one more on Brad. I think he came up and kind of cleared himself.
Hellacious hit for Josh Watson there too.
Looked like Austin Dillon in the 2022 Coke 600.
Is that the one with the busher flip or?
Yep.
That was the one with the busher flip. Then yeah, that kind of reminds me of that.
Ooh, man, heavy contact with Josh Watson.
Yeah, another one of those. Thank goodness it's not real life moments.
Wonder if we're gonna see anybody come down pit road. I think we're easily within the fuel window. I don't know if we were within it beforehand. I'm not 100% certain. If we weren't within it beforehand, I guarantee you we're gonna see everybody come down pit road this time by. Zach Novak leading us down. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if the fuel window is what I remember it being, it's going to be close. It is going to be very, very close on fuel for these guys because if I remember correctly, and I actually maybe wasn't there an update? Wasn't there an update where fuel tanks were made bigger for the next gen? Or am I just being incredibly stupid?
That doesn't ring a bell to me, but I think that they're good. I'm pretty sure you can make it like 60 laps on gas.
Because I haven't raced the Cup car probably since like the Roval of last season would have been the last time I raced the Cup car, and the last time we were at Vegas it was 51 laps, and you were stretching it if you hit 51. So, and they're at 51 to go right now.
Well, then we could be pretty close.
But I don't remember what the fuel window is for these cars. Maybe someone who actually has some brain cells could help me out.
I'm all out on the this neck of the woods, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, same.
There's no brain cells over here, but I might be able to check. Oh, I can't see my...
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, I got 2 brain cells and they're both fighting over third right now, so...
Oh, man. They're not even
at least it's 3 for Dale. No. They're doing it for Dale. They're fighting for third. Come on now.
So they're dumb brain cells and they're slow brain cells. Double slow.
Oh.
Very sad.
Oh.
Classic third split driver.
Wow.
Had to go
Says
there.
the one that finished like 20th in top split NIS.
Oh, actually it was 14th. I got through a lot of wrecks on the last lap.
Wow.
Yep,
Wow. Okay, but
hey, I got caught up in somebody else's mess.
Hey, you were running 20th most of the night, Friday night.
Yeah, because I got wrecked.
Let's check ourselves before we wreck ourselves.
Come on now. I fought my way all the way back from starting
at least
30-something
I admit
to
that
4th.
I'm mid.
Hey, I started 30-something, got up to 4th, and then got wrecked by somebody else. I don't know what you want from me.
That's tragic. At least I admit that I'm mid.
My car was hurt. I had 5 minutes of damage, you know.
Aww.
Classic, I'm going to make excuses. Because they're legitimate
you want me to play the world's saddest song on the world's smallest violin?
If Bobby Zielinski came to you upset about his front bumper being torn off earlier in this race, would you understand? Or would you make fun of him?
No, because I would probably crap myself because a pro driver's talking to me and I wouldn't know why.
Oh, man. That's a classic third split answer, too.
Okay. I'll remember that.
Pro driver's talking to me, I'm going to poop my pants.
No,
what if you got to talk to one tonight, man?
I mean, I'm just used to important people not really paying attention to me. I'm sorry. Meanie.
Oh, man. Inferiority complex coming out on stream here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus. Man, bro.
We're going unhinged tonight. We got,
oh, my God.
We're not keeping it in our pants.
This is getting on. This is getting on levels of 2023 Martinsville.
No. Nothing can top
okay,
that.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't have 20 cautions to fill.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But we're getting close. We're getting close.
Maybe we're around like caution 4 of Martinsville.
I would go caution 14.
Hey man, we were pretty crazy on caution 4, so I'm saying a lot.
That is very true, but we did have at that time we did not know that we had 27 more cautions to go through, so
we were pretty aware that was probably going to happen.
Yeah, but we didn't expect a record-setting 31 cautions that night, did we?
That's fair. I got to give it to you. GridVision
commentators go nuts live on the stream.
Yeah, sorry, sometimes whenever there's a break in the action and we don't have a commercial break plan, that's just what you get sometimes. Especially
Yeah, we
whenever
like
you
to
got me
fight
and my
each other
buddy,
'cause that's fun.
especially whenever you got me and my buddy Nick up in the booth. If Darby had a microphone, man, we'd be ragging on him nonstop too. I've stopped at the C+ tier jokes because it's just not fun. He can't defend himself on stream.
Hey, but I kept it up for you.
So it all goes on to my co-commentator. Brian Britt gets a bunch of math jokes because he's from South Carolina and can't do math apparently. So he gets a lot of that.
And I get a ton of stupid jokes because I'm from Texas.
And because you're slow.
Yeah, and like I said, at least I admit it. I know I'm slow.
Your third split in the brain.
Jeez. Oh man, I'm glad our producer does not have a mic live on stream because
we got a couple guys that are not third split in the brain. We got a couple top tier guys up front. Tucker Minter, Dylan Alt coming back to the green flag. We've got a little unhinged on broadcast. Hopefully they get a little unhinged on the racetrack. Tucker Minter leading us down to the green flag.
Pretty bad start there from whoever was on the outside there. Didn't quite catch a number there, but quite a abysmal start. That was the 40 of Dylan Alt.
Yeah, Dylan didn't. Whoa, sorry, excuse me. Dylan did not quite get going through the gears, just as I couldn't there through 1 and 2 either. But they're now side by side for that second place position. Dylan on the outside, Busa on the inside, trying to make it work. As I'm trying to prevent a coffin fit.
Ooh, got a little bit hairy there between Dylan Alt and that 62 machine there. Of course, the 62 being Matt Busa. Oh, and now, hey, look at that. Darby's pick coming back into the fray here. Bobby Zielinski, he is out for blood now.
Yeah, I thought Zielinski was out of this thing, man. What the hell? Where is he coming from? He's up to that second row, up to the 4th place position. Now sliding back to side by side for 5th. What in the world, though? How the heck is he up here?
Hey, man, this is a Wendy's, bro. I just work here.
Man, there was a Wendy's on the infield of the Daytona 500, and that was pretty nice.
Hey, there was a McDonald's right across the street from Daytona. That was pretty
We're
good.
We're still unhinged. Tucker Minter on the outside. Tucker Minter on the outside. Matt Moose on the inside. I don't know how we keep going off topic whenever we've got this fantastic racing here in front of us. Tucker Minter trying to hold off to the 62. Dylan Alt pushing through on the outside, trying to give that boost to Tucker Minter, get that clean air for himself. Also, that number 40 on the outside. That's Sunoco Racing Fuel. Hey, man, that's a pretty daggone sharp paint scheme, I got to say, for Dylan Alt in that 40. Number 8 on screen for you there in 3rd place.
Oh, they were 4 wide for just a moment there going into turn 1. 79 to Shane Davis getting up into the wall for just a moment there. I do believe he is a lap car, though, so that was not for position, but things did definitely get a little bit hairy there as these guys are really starting to pick that pace up, and that makes me think everyone's good on fuel, so they don't really have to worry about fuel here.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be fine on fuel. Dylan Alt pulls down to the inside across Matt Busa's nose entering turn 3, though. It got really hairy between those two. He tried to get a little boost there from Matt Busa. Now instead, the 62 takes it 3 wide, completely leaving Dylan Alt out to dry. Could be stuck in the middle lane here. Bobby Zielinski right behind, trying to decide what lane to go in. It looks like he's going to push Alt here in the middle lane. Actually dives up to the top, so both guys on the bottom looking to go backwards if they don't get a little bit of help soon, but Garrett Maines comes to the aid of Dylan Alt in the inside as we're side by side for the race lead. Tucker Minter giving it up here to Zach Novak, who just powers by on the outside line.
Trent Dingle now wants a piece of that Tucker Minter machine as he's to the inside of Tucker Minter through turns 1 and 2, still 3 wide behind Garrett Maines through the middle on Dylan Alt and Bobby Zielinski, and now Maines is going to clear both of them. Is bit sideways there for the 12 of Garrett Maines, and he's going to take it to the inside of Tucker Minter through turns 3 and 4, and he's going to get up to the rear end of the 9 of Trent Dingle there, coming off of turn number 4. It's going to give him a good shot of momentum up towards Zach Novak.
Man, Garrett Maines has been playing it easy all night long, but no more. At this point, he has taken everything he can get. Every time going down into one of these corners, he is throwing that machine down to the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to take a spot. Try to make it work on the outside that time into turn 1 on Trent Dingle. Dingle was having none of it. Kind of threw a block out to the outside of turn number 2. Holds on to that 2. Holy cow. Holds on to that second place position here. I'm talking too fast because the racing's getting too quick out on the racetrack. But Zach Novak up in the race lead. Trent Dingle in second place. Garrett Maines followed him through in 3rd.
Nicholas Roman further back in the field there, looking to make it 3 wide. I believe he was trying to get to the outside of Ray Alfala there. Pretty good further back into the pack here. Is now on board with the 95 of Roman. They're going to go 3 wide in front of him here. 4 wide. Oh, we got one spinning, but they're going to save it.
I mean, he was dead sideways, pointed to the left, dead sideways, pointed to the right, locks down the brakes, gets on the binders, and completely gets that thing straightened out in the middle of the back straightaway. I have no idea who the hell that was in the back of the pack, but what an absolutely incredible save there to keep this race under green, keeping the fighting on. I mean, we're side by side from about 5th on back.
Ooh, Ray Alfala through the middle there on Matt Busa, and I didn't catch who was on the outside there, but Ray Alfala giving absolutely no rips there as he sends a 3 wide and gets 2 for the price of 1 off of turn number 2 there. Things are getting interesting here, man. This is starting to make me kind of get on the edge of my seat here.
Yeah, I still feel like this is a long enough run where you need to save your tires a little bit, but I don't think that we're really seeing much of that throughout the field. Everybody seems to be on a max go level 10. I mean, everybody is flying for everything. Garrett Main's flying around to the outside of Trent Dinkle for that 2nd place position. Gets the draft from Zach Novak all the way down the back straightaway. Garrett Maines with a huge run down into turn number 3. Takes the clean air at first, getting down into the corner, but then drives down into the dirty air behind Zach Novak. Keeps that thing wrapping around the bottom a little bit longer than Novak, trying to get a good run out of the corner. Firmly within the slipstream, trying to get a good run on our race leader. Garrett Maines has been moving from the middle of the pack since the drop of the green flag on the last restart. Now he's moving to the outside, trying to take the lead.
Tell you what, here's someone who really hasn't been talked about that much tonight. The 98 of Joseph Galata, he's really starting to make his way through the field as he's gone up a few positions here tonight, and it's one of those ones that I was talking about being 3 wide here. This man started 25th tonight. He's up fighting for the top 3 right now. Is this going to get to the outside of his teammate in the Team Conti camp of Trent Dinkle and that 9 machine? He's got help from Nicholas Vroman as well on that outside line. He's really starting to make that middle line work.
Yeah, he's got an opportunity to move it up to 3rd and may even get to the outside of Zach Novak for 2nd. Novak slams the door off the corner. Trent Dinkle just about comes up into the side of Gulata. They're just going to file in. Single file here for the top 5. Dinkle dives it back down to the bottom of his teammate. Coming through 3 and 4, trying to take that P4 spot back. Gulata comes down the racetrack, side drafts him. A little bit of contact further back. Bobby Zielinski almost got turned head on into the field. Able to hold on to that thing coming out of turn number 4. Hard racing throughout the entire pack at this point. Just the first couple guys single file. Everybody else swarming for positions all throughout the field.
I don't know where to look. There's racing all over the track in this lead pack here. Oh, I believe that may have been Garrett Lowe getting a little bit sideways there heading into turn 3. He keeps it straight though, and it's going to be 3 wide in front of him now as Bobby Zielinski, I believe that is the 97 there as well, and Matt Busa on the top side going 3 wide.
Yeah, I've been paying attention to him and Bobby Zielinski the last couple laps, and it's gotten a little nervy between the 2 of them. I've thought that there's been a couple opportunities where both of them could have been sent wrecking across the field. Lined up on the bottom side of the racetrack though, just pushing hard. Bobby Zielinski finally falls up into the top groove. Trying to maybe even find a little bit of a break from that front bumper there of Garrett Lowe on the inside.
Yeah, things are getting a little bit crazy here as now Tucker Minter and Ray Alfala almost come into blows off of turn number 4 there. Minter's starting to slow down a little bit as now Garrett Lowe's to his outside. Minter gets a pretty good shot from the 40 of Dylan Alt and into the corner. That's going to get the 97 of Minter loose, but he's going to keep it straight under the 99 there, or excuse me, the 89 of Garrett Lowe. And they're going to keep it going here. But, man, things are really starting to kick off as we're starting to get closer and closer to that 30 laps to go margin. And things do not look like they're coming down at all here.
Yeah, things are getting really, really racy right behind our race leader, Garrett Maines. It's been nice and tidy for our race leader, but everything behind him has been a hornet's nest. Nicholas Vroman vaults himself up to that 2nd place, that number 1 challenger position here on the outside of 1 and 2. Tries to give himself an opportunity in that Ryco Performance Mustang to get a run down the back straightaway, maybe make the moves on Garrett Maines, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to have the run getting down into turn number 3. Now he's under fire from Trent Dinkle, who's found himself back up to the P3 spot.
Garrett Lowe coming in once again, trying to get back up into this lead pack. He's going to get under the 9 of Trent Dinkle here, and now we got side by side for 3rd position here, bringing this Hornets that's closer to this Ryco 1-2 that they got going. Make that a 1-3 now, and possibly a 2-3. Caution on the racetrack.
Everybody did save it, so I'm surprised that caution came out. But there was somebody dead sideways, 90 degrees on somebody else's hood through 1 and 2. I couldn't quite tell the drivers involved, but
I do believe it was Brandon Evans and Jordy Lopez involved in that, if I'm not mistaken, because they are coming to blows over the in-race radio here. I'm hearing some very interesting words being said right now.
Yeah, they're not happy with each other. I'm having to mute my microphone on that one, or it's going to put me off a little bit. But going to get a little replay there, so maybe we can make the judgment call. Oh, man. Well, the 39 just kind of came up the racetrack and didn't turn in.
Oh, that's not how that works.
Yeah, sometimes, typically whenever I have a left-hand corner, I turn left. But sometimes I miss it.
No. Oh, Garrett Lowe! No, Garrett Lowe just got turned.
No,
What?
Garrett Lowe just ran into the back of Garrett Maines.
Whoa.
Garrett Lowe coming at speed. Must have looked at his computer monitor last second. Veered hard left to miss Maines. Couldn't quite miss it, and then nosed it hard into the inside wall.
Yeah, that's race-ending damage for Garrett Lowe there. There's no way he's able to come back from that. That is a ton of splitter damage for the 89 to Garrett Lowe, and gotta wonder what he was doing there.
Can we have replays from under caution? I mean, goodness gracious. Garrett Maines has heavy left rear damage. I mean, it's bent up pretty good.
Yeah, Garrett Maines has got some pretty good damage, but the 89 and Garrett Lowe's got a ton of
he's done.
damage.
He's got to be done. There's no way he comes
that
back.
splitter's bent up pretty good. There's no way he's gonna have enough front downforce.
I'm surprised it's as little as it is, to be honest. He hit that inside wall a good bit, man. How in the world is it just bent up on the left front? I mean, felt like that was such a. I guess we haven't seen it on the broadcast, right? So I feel bad we're talking about it so much, but it wasn't. I thought that he nosed it in pretty good.
Yeah, I wish we could get a replay.
C-tier producer here is having a hard time. There it is. There's the joke.
C-tier producer.
I got him.
Got him.
Got him, boys. FBI, open up. Okay, that was too far. Anyway, as our producer tries to find that replay. Still looking at Garrett Maines.
So
trotting around on the racetrack. Doesn't look like he got that damage fixed.
So it looks like Garrett Lowe, according to what he just put in the in-race chat, he put windows on the car went dark. Sorry, like tinted. What? Does that mean his monitor went out, possibly?
Windows on the car? I don't know. I mean, if that's
I just read you exactly what he put.
Yeah,
in race
no, I saw it. If that's iRacing slang term for windshield, you're I don't know. I'm just trying to make it make sense.
My guess would be maybe
Windows.
his monitor went out.
Yeah, Windows is I don't know. That's his windshield. I don't know. Either way, he ran into the back of our race leader. Garrett Maines has damage, didn't fix it up. So he's been a little hopeful here that it doesn't hurt the progress of that number 12 here on the front row. Just looking at those pit stops, Garrett Maines just not too long ago coming down, gets out first, so he does not fix that damage whatsoever. Just comes right out of pit road as soon as the tires are done.
I tell you what, this is gonna be a fun one. We're within 30 to go, so people really aren't gonna have to worry about tires. So this should be even more cutthroat and more insane than what we're used to seeing. Yeah, here, let's look at this.
Here
replay.
we go.
What happened? I caught the very end of this and
bang.
Oh.
Didn't look like they hit, but they did hit, or at least it registered. A lot of net code. So he's got some damage.
There's a lot of netcode involved in that.
Maybe it didn't show up as fixable damage then. Maybe he got lucky. But we can see it, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's still in the race. Like, he's still in the lead right now, so maybe not too much damage for him.
I mean, maybe saying it's on the left rear. Maybe that's the part of the car that matters the least in the air, and it's not pushed it up too bad. It's just it's dented in that rear bumper a little bit. So it might be the least important part of the vehicle. I do think that the Gen 6 was like that, but you can see, I mean, that's dented up under the spoiler, but the spoiler is not raised or lowered at all.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That's definitely some pretty good aero damage. For sure. I don't see any reason... I don't see any reason that he's able to continue with this lead pack, if I'm being honest. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but if you have any sort of rear damage, that's a pretty hefty chunk of your straight line speed taken out. So this could get interesting here in this lead pack.
Garrett Maines could be a parachute. It could have just cost him the race. We're going to find out here with 27 laps to go next time by. I mean, we've had a good race so far. I'm not too surprised. I thought we were going to be in for a really good one. We've seen a lot of lead changes, a lot of different contenders up at the front, and I think it's just going to kick off even more now. A couple guys at the beginning are probably going to tire save a little bit. I know it's only 27 laps, but I do think we're going to see just a little bit of saving in the first 5-10 laps, and then everybody's really, really going to kick it off. You probably won't even notice, though, because a lot of the guys up front are going to be racing super hard right from the get-go. We got Nicholas Roman on the front row for the first time tonight. Trent Dinkel, Zach Novak lining up row number 2, but Garrett Maines is going to lead them down to that green flag as soon as that pace car takes the late turn off here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Coming back to the restart zone, Garrett Maines gets us back underway.
Got a big time shot from the 9 of Trent Dinkle there, and they're going to clear of Nicholas Vroman there. And now both of them bringing it back down in front of Joseph Gulata, who's got Tucker Minter for help there, trying to get those guys going once again.
Garrett Maines not necessarily feeling the effects just yet, but Trent Dinkle does have a run on the inside. He side drafts the driver of the 12 down into turn number 3, tries to take the lead away from Garrett Maines. Gets loose on the bottom of the racetrack. He goes spinning to the inside. Tucker Minter, Nicholas Vroman, multiple drivers involved. Zach Novak goes around. Dylan Alt through the infield grass. Brandon Bikey. Multiple drivers, just so many involved up towards the front of the field. Many contenders taken out on that one.
That was almost everybody. There was a lot of people involved in that wreck.
Holy cow. And it just started from a solo car spin. It's not even like it was a aggressive push gone wrong. It was just somebody spinning out on the inside of the racetrack going for the race lead. I mean, it's just crazy how things can change in a drop out of an eye here, especially on these restarts.
Yeah, that's one of the things about Las Vegas there is the compression off of turn number 4 is a big time talking point when it comes to how wrecks start at Las Vegas.
Gonna obviously have to get a couple looks at that one. Going down into turn number 1 and 2, we see we see the driver of the 9 get a huge run down on the inside. Trent Dinkle makes the move on Garrett Maines, getting down into turn number 3, and we see it's all clean through 3 and 4. Garrett Maines honestly gives him plenty of room, doesn't come down and really just start the air too much, but
he got on the apron.
Just goes around. Tucker Minter piles in. Zach Novak, Bobby Zielinski, Matt Busa, Dylan Alt. All get spun down to the inside, up over to the infield grass after getting into that outside wall. That's gonna put a damper on a lot of people's hopes, man. I mean, that was a race-ending wreck for a lot of these guys. We're gonna get the onboard from Nicholas Vroman. One of the guys that got the worst of it. I think he's gonna have to be done after that one, or at least be tremendously off pace here going down on the exit of turn number 4 on the outside.
Yeah, that's gonna be so sad because we're not gonna get to hear Vroman make fun of Ken Byron. Oh wow, yeah. That's definitely race-ending damage there for the 95, but as I was saying, we're not going to get to hear him say over the air that he gets to make fun of Ken Byron for him not qualifying again.
I mean, he got taken out at the front of the field, so and it's late in the race, so it's not, I wouldn't say qualifying is, I don't know. I feel bad for Roman. That's a tough race ender. He had just gotten himself up there. He'd only been up there for a handful of laps, really biding his time, working his way through the field. Just gets taken out in the drop of a hat off somebody else's air there on the inside. It's just going for it. It's hard racing there for the lead. We're coming to 24 laps to go. We're going to take another commercial break. We're going to have all the racing action to the finish on the other side.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split on GridVision. We've got a good one in store for you here. Great finish on offer for you from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Garrett Maines leads up the field. Joseph Gulata, Derek Heitman, Brandon Bikey, James Houghton, all in the top five. Sorry, Houghton, all in the top five. Garrett Maines leading us out as the pace car drops down onto pit road. 22 laps to go. Garrett Maines back to the throttle, leads us to the green flag.
Yeah, you were talking about that saving earlier on, that you thought that these guys were going to save for a little bit. Well, my good friend, that is out the window now.
Man!
Oh, big wreck! Oh, no!
Joshua Watson just got absolutely dive bombed. I mean, that was down into turn one. I don't know who made the move on him. I don't know if it was just a late block or what down into turn one, but that was absolutely massive.
That's the third time tonight I've tried to make a point, and it's gotten derailed by a caution.
Hey, man.
That is sad.
That's just life. At least you're not in one of these torn up race cars. I think you'd be a little bit more depressed, but here on the replay, a little bit further up.
Wow.
Is that Garrett Lowe that made a move on him?
That wasn't Watson involved.
I had the wrong Ryco machine then. I think it was a different red one up in the front. I apologize. It was not Joshua Watson. That was not C-tier producing. That was C-tier commentating on that one. I gotta call it out.
At least you admit it. At least you admit it.
There's another Ryco car up here.
Who's that? Oh!
Ray Alfala made a move to the inside of the 0-2. Is that? Oh, I bet that's.
That's Jacob Schneider. Yeah, that's Jacob Schneider. Started on pole and really hasn't made it back up front yet.
It was a weird one going down to turn one. I think they were 3 wide before Alfala even got there.
They were almost 4 wide going down into turn one here.
I think Alfala made it 4, and like the space was there, and Schneider closed it off. But I mean, I don't know. It was already 3 wide, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah, they were already 3 wide going into the corner. Schneider had nowhere to go, I don't think.
Either way, Jacob Schneider and a couple others have a torn up race car, no matter what happened. So that doesn't make Schneider feel better.
Torn up race cars, broken dreams, broken hearts.
I didn't get a good view on the overhead, so I might have had that a little wrong. But Garrett Maines leading the field here. 20 laps to go. Starting to turn into a little bit of a caution fest here towards the end of this thing. We can't keep it green. We're gonna miss the start of the B Open.
Yeah, that was kind of how it went last week at Atlanta for the A Open. It was green for about 50 laps, and then that final 40, it was caution after caution after caution, and
they all lost their minds at the end.
I hate to do this, but this reminds me of Larry McReynolds. Cautions breed caution.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Man, in the pre-race you were dogging me about my Darrell Waltrip impressions, and then you whip out a Larry Macklin in the middle of the actual broadcast. I don't understand.
It's a two-way street, bro.
You're a hater.
Yeah. I am a hater, and I will not deny that. I am a hater.
Professional hater. Nick Stein up in the booth.
It's. I'm a hater. I'm a certified hater, Austin.
Unbelievable. Two-face, even.
That sucks.
It does, because I have to call races with you.
Oh.
I don't know what face I'm getting. Could be different every lap.
I could switch up my voices every lap if that's what you want.
I mean, I would match that energy. So
No,
I don't think you want to go into I don't think you want to go into that war, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think we need this.
I think I would win that one pretty good. I'm so tempted to break one out on stream right now, but we're gonna hold him back.
Please don't.
Kermit's getting put in his cage.
No, yeah, thank you. We do. The world does not need to hear that torture.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. Should I just copy you for the rest of the broadcast?
I mean, I think the viewers would be a little upset with that, but hey, whatever floats your boat.
Okay, I won't.
I think it'd be a little difficult because sometimes I catch myself commentating the action for like a lap and a half. I don't think you'll be able to remember that much.
Are you challenging me?
Yeah.
Too bad. I suck.
That's what I thought. Third split
warrior.
Third split arguer. Sad.
Arguer? More like.
Are you top split on anything?
Top split in my dreams. I mean, I've made I am top split broadcaster.
On a technicality.
In what way?
Britt retired and we had to find somebody.
Yeah, because I wasn't already here before Britt retired.
We were testing
just
you
pulled me in off the streets. I was sad and
out.
alone. I was giving you the puppy dog eyes, and you couldn't go with anyone else.
We wanted to make sure that I could carry you, and I felt comfortable with the backpack, so we signed you on.
That's funny. Funny joke.
I'm laughing.
You should go into stand-up comedy if this commentary thing doesn't work, and it doesn't really seem to be working either.
I mean, that could work. That could work out. They could just put me on Fox, though. You know, they put a lot of terrible talent on Fox, so that could work out. I think I'd be right up their alley.
Yeah, you'd probably be a pretty good ARCA commentator.
Well, that's not a very high bar to meet.
Yeah, that's why I made the joke, because you suck.
Oh, man!
Ooh. Damn, we're being mean tonight.
Man, look at those the three brain cells kicking in.
Yep, all three of them fighting for
slow, but they're kicking, man. Wow, this derails every time we go to caution. Anyway, Garrett Maines obviously leading the field back to green with that little bit of that left rear damage we were talking about earlier that he sustained under caution. Got Derek Heitman. I believe that's Nick Stein's race pick on the outside. Look at that.
I'm just saying.
Sometimes those three brain cells work out pretty good. Garrett Maines putting them all to use here, coming down to the restart zone, brings us back to green.
Oh, Joseph Galata going down on the apron, followed by Matt Busa, so possibly some things getting interesting here down into turn one. Galata's going to get a pretty good shove from Matt Busa in that 62 machine. That's going to get the top two clear of that outside line, and both of them are going to drift up as Garrett Maines getting another bad run off the corner. It looks like that damage is hurting that 12 car.
Man, I don't know if it's the damage or just how slow they come out of turn number two, and the leaders got all of that clean air hitting the front end, and they just hit a wall. Oh, Tucker Mitchell goes spinning in the back. Now to the apron, clobbers the inside wall. No caution's going to come out far enough off the racetrack. But while that happened, Joseph Galata, goodness gracious, takes the race lead here away from Garrett Maines, but Maines is fighting back on the outside around Derek Heitman.
Oh, he goes around the outside there, gets a little bit loose, but he's going to keep it straight. Brandon Bikey now giving a pretty good shove to the 76 of Derek Heitman. Now he's going to have the draft from the 98 of Joseph Galata, but here comes Garrett Maines once again. He's got a pretty decent run here off of turn number 4, but it's not going to be enough as here comes Derek Heitman to the outside. He's going to switch him back, and now to the inside of the 12 of Garrett Maines, side by side for second position here as it looks like Brendan Bikey's really going to let these guys fight it out, but Derek Heitman gets loose. Brendan Bikey to his outside now.
Galata has been pushing through the entry of every single corner, just about giving up the bottom of the racetrack to Garrett Maines every time through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Galata way up the racetrack once again on the exit of turn number 4, trying to use that big slingshot that he gets off the corner. Gives up a little bit of time through the center, but man, he gets a huge run coming off of turn 4 every single time. Able to stretch that gap to Garrett Maines just a tad over the whole front straightaway. But Brandon Bikey pushes him back on that outside groove, gives a shove to Garrett Maines, and that 12 is coming for the race lead.
Coming up towards 10 laps to go here. Brandon Bikey giving a pretty good shove to the 12 of Garrett Maines there. Not really able to do much, as it really does look like that damage is hurting Garrett Maines. A little bit of contact there between him and Bikey. Garrett Maines does get loose, but he keeps it straight. And that outside line is training now. They got 3 people pushing there, as now Bikey almost gets clear of the 76 of Derek Heitman. Derek Heitman, though, comes back, and now they're side by side for third position here. Bikey on the outside, Heitman on the inside. Here comes Seminario with the big push to the one machine. He's going to take it up all the way to the wall. 3 wide almost for second position here, as now Derek Heitman comes up even with the 12 of Garrett Maines.
Yeah, I think Maines is hurting, man. Every time through 3 and 4, he is struggling. He's losing time. He can manage through 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 seems to be a trouble spot for the driver at the 12. The guy that's been leading most of this race, just struggling with that left rear damage. Derek Heitman taking that second place position away from Garrett Maines now. Mano between him and Joseph Gulata for the race lead. Coming out of turn number 4, they're side by side for that third place position though. Taylor Hurst, Garrett Maines going at it for third.
I tell you what, that's a name we really haven't called tonight at all. Taylor Hurst in that 33 machine up at third position. Where did he come from? As I do believe he started tonight in 17th position. Matter of fact, nobody in your top 3 started within the top 10. Galata started 25th, Heitman in 13th, and Taylor Hurst in 17th. So your highest runner right now that qualified in the top 3 is Garrett Maines, and he's running 4th right now. But it looks like he's hurting now. 3 wide off the corner. Matt boosts of Brandon Bikey and Garrett Maines. A little bit of contact further back is now Seminario to their outside.
I can't believe Bobby Zielinski's even up here, man. He's been involved in just about every accident we've had on the racetrack tonight, and somehow he's back up fighting for that 5th place position, side by side with Johan Seminario for 5th. Coming down the back straightaway, Zielinski couldn't quite get it done, but further up, I believe this is Derek Heitman trying to hold on to that position, coming out of turn number 4 away from Taylor Hurst. But Taylor Hurst, man, like you said, we have not mentioned him since the starting lineups, and he is here in that second place position, getting a huge push down the front straightaway. Down into turn number 1. Oh man, Joseph Gulata went way high entering turn number 1, had trouble with the lap car, and now he's side by side with for the race lead with Taylor Hurst, who is shot out of a cannon.
Contact between the 2 into turn 3. They're door banging through turn number 3. Taylor Hurst, though, showing his displeasure with the 98 of Gulata, but Gulata's going to come out on top, and he's going to almost clear the 33 of Taylor Hurst. Now Gulata has some help from the 76 of Derek Heitman. Heitman going to give a side draft to Taylor Hurst, but that's going to actually give a pretty good boost to the 33 of Taylor Hurst. Is now still side by side here. Gulata on the outside. He's going to get the run, and it looks like he will clear the 33. 3 wide further back as Jordy Lopez, a lap car, is currently racing the leaders like it's the last lap at Daytona.
Hurst to Gulata, make contact out of 4. Hurst entering turn number 3 was able to get a last-second side draft on the 15 on Joseph Gulata, and was able to pull it back just a little bit. They were able to be side by side off of turn 4, and now the 33 drives it in deep, trying to clear him on the bottom of the racetrack, but Taylor Hurst not quite able to do it. Joseph Gulata back to the race lead, and that's going to stall out Taylor Hurst heavy. Derek Heitman back to the outside, and there could be a train of cars waiting to overtake the 33.
Here comes the one, though, of Nick Ottinger. Bobby Zielinski, wrong one. Bobby Zielinski now to the outside of Taylor Hurst. He's looking to the outside of Derek Heitman. He's going to switch it back now. Almost 3 wide for a moment. Bobby Zielinski to the inside of the 76 of Derek Heitman. Pick v pick here as, Bobby Zielinski tries to clear Derek Heitman, but it doesn't work. Heitman still on the outside. He's got the draft from his teammate of Joseph Gulata. Gulata, meanwhile, still running that middle line. 3 wide for second place here, offset. Bobby Zielinski on the inside, Derek Heitman on the middle, Taylor Hurst on the top. Contact between Heitman and Hurst.
Zielinski was millimeters from being clear off of turn number 2, but now he's stuck on the bottom 3 wide with Heitman and Taylor Hurst, but now Hurst propels himself up into that second place position, and Garrett Maines fills that outside groove. It looks like the outside is just better at this point. Garrett Maines able to follow through on the outside. Derek Heitman on the middle, making it work somewhat well, but Bobby Zielinski's just stuck, scrubbing the tires on the bottom of the racetrack. Can't unwind the wheel, cannot use the momentum down the straightaway. It just looks like he's stuck down at the bottom and cannot go anywhere. But further up, towards the front of the field, Joseph Gulata holding on from Taylor Hurst, who's back in second.
Ray Alfala gave a pretty good shot to the 12 of Garrett Maines and got him back side by side with Derek Heitman. Zelensky, meanwhile, he clears the 76 of Heitman, and now he's in front of these two as he's still going to be running the bottom. Meanwhile, up front, Taylor Hurst once again looking to try and take that position from the 98 of Joseph Galata. Galata gets a good run off of the corner, though, and he keeps the position as things have really started to mellow out for just a moment here, as now we're within 3 laps to go here at Las Vegas.
I think this could be the calm before the storm as Taylor Hurst gets to the inside of Joseph Gulata. They're side by side coming out of turn 2 as Gulata gets loose. They're both going to slow each other up all the way down the Knoll straightaway down here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway down into turn 3. Bobby Zelensky able to close the gap through 3 and 4 to both these guys as it looks like Gulata's going to prevail on the outside.
Oh, contact between Seminario and a car further back, but they keep it straight. 3 wide for 4th position here. Ray Alfala, Garrett Maines, and Derek Heitman once again 3 wide here. And it looks like Seminario's maybe thinking about making it 4 wide here. Still up towards this lead, Taylor Hurst and Joseph Galata trying to fight it out.
Gulata struggles through 1 and 2 every single time, and Taylor Hurst is able to do something. He's able to just about get to the left rear quarter panel of Gulata through 1 and 2. But coming out of turn 4 this time, Gulata easily out in front as they're side by side for second with the white flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Gulata able to hold on. Zelensky falls back in line behind Taylor Hurst entering 1. Hurst throws it in deep into turn 1. Just about gets to the back bumper of Gulata through the exit of the corner. They're almost side by side. Hurst falls in suit. Just gives the back bumper to him all the way down the back straightaway. Taylor Hurst shoves him a little too deep into turn 3, but he can't get his car turned. Bobby Zelensky to the inside for second. But it's going to be Joseph Gulata coming to the line to win the Monday Night A Open from Las Vegas.
Oh, man, I had to take a second to breathe there, man. Oh, my goodness. That was edge of your seat racing right there. Oh, my, wow.
Holy cow, man. That was a heck of a finish to that one. It was a really great race all the way through. I thought there was going to be a run from behind. I thought Hurst was going to get to the inside of Joseph Gulata coming out of turn number 2. Just was not able to get to the left rear quarter panel and side draft him. Just had to fall back in line, shoved him down into the final corner, and was not able to make it stick for the driver of the 33. Just got a little bit too much dirty air entering. Zelensky could not get the run, and Joseph Gulata comes home to take victory in the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split A Open. And a fantastic race, I gotta say. The entire thing, green flag to checkered flag, was thoroughly entertaining. We had a little bit of a lull with some cautions there towards the middle ending portion of the race tonight, but man, we got a great green flag run to end it, and a heck of a winner here with Joseph Gulata.
You know what? I mean, I hope the real life race is as good as that was, because that proves what this next gen can do. People have always been saying the 1.5 mile package for the next gen is horrible and needs to go away. These guys just proved what this package could do. So I'm hoping the real life race is as good as that was, because that was insane.
Heck, I feel like the 1.5 mile package has been better in real life than everything else for the next gen, but here on iRacing, it seems to be no different as Joseph Gulata brings home the checkered flag here tonight. Bobby Zelensky in second, Taylor Hurst third, Garrett Maines fourth, Derek Heitman in fifth. Johan Seminario brings it home in sixth place with Ray Alfala in seventh, Kwame Scott in eighth, Matt DiCiani in ninth, and Joseph Squared rounds out your top 10.
Finishing in 11th place tonight is going to be, I am lost. I apparently do not know what I'm talking about. Finishing in 11th place tonight is going to be Brandon Bikey with Joseph Pisciata in 12th position. Matt Busa going to be in 13th. Paul Bergoli 14th. Zach Roethlisberger in 15th with James Houghton in 16th. 17th is going to belong to Brandon D. Evans with Joshua Watson, who got involved in a massive wreck there. Going to be in 18th position. Jacob Schneider in 19th. And 20th position going to be Trent Dingle.
That rounds out our top 20 here tonight. We're going to throw it over to one last commercial break, and then we're going to try to get a couple of our podium finishers in the Discord. So if you finished up there on the top 3 spots, come over here and talk to us. We'd like to talk to you about the race, but we'll catch you right after the commercial break. Welcome back to Ryco Performance Monday night top split from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We had a heck of an A Open. We're looking forward to getting about the same here in the B Open. I'm Austin Edstrom standing alongside Nick Stein. We got Austin Derbyshire behind the production booth as always. Can't wait to get this one kicked off just like we were feeling for that A Open, man. I mean, we knew that A Open was going to be good with all the pro driver, all the pro talent we had in there. This isn't quite the same, but we still got a pretty high SOF in the 5Ks. We've got a great group of drivers out there ready to put on a heck of a show for you today in the B Open SOF.
Yeah, this one's going to be a fun one. The B car is always a fun car to watch, and especially here at one of my favorite tracks, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It should be an absolutely insane race tonight.
We're going to look at the standings here of the B Open series. We're a little bit further into this, right? I think that they do it by season and not... well, I don't know. Maybe not. They do the whole year, too. I just got the correction in my ear. Alrighty. Well, John Williams leading the point standings. Jimmy Norman second. Johnny Avila in third. John Jenkins fourth. Quentin Norman in fifth. Landon Williams sixth. Brandon Hawk in seventh with Charles Velasquez in eighth. Jared Carr ninth. And Joey Doucette in 10th place. Gonna get a little Google Earth view. I was combining the two words there, I suppose. Google Earth view from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Man, we're starting out the B Open portion really good. really well here in the GridVision booth. But anyway, getting the same little look that we saw before the A Open start finish line, 9 degrees of banking, not too much. You got that big dog leg that you can cut through the infield. And kind of caught up a little bit of time, maybe dodge a side draft or two, or chase somebody down there to get a side draft off. Down into turns 1 and 2, 20 degrees of banking. Going to be flying around that corner. Lots of bumps down in 1 and 2 that you've got to watch out for as we take a look down the back.
Headed down into turn 3 again. Of course, 20 degrees of banking as well. Excuse me, is also 9 degrees of banking on that back stretch. And now we're getting into turn 3 and 4, which is also 20 degrees of banking. I don't know how to talk, apparently.
I don't either. We've had a ton of stutters up in the booth, and we're probably not anywhere done tonight. We still got a whole race to go, so get ready for it. It's going to be a fun one. Maybe not from the booth perspective, but the action is going to be great on track as we look at Nick Stein's keys to the race.
Well, keys to the race here tonight for B Open are going to be very, very similar to what our A Open keys to the race were, except for this one key right here. Instead of watching your right rear like you have to in the Cup car here, you're going to have to watch your right front, as it is very, very prone to burning off. And of course, second, got to watch for the bumps in 1 and 2. It is a very bumpy racetrack here at Las Vegas, so if you don't watch out for those bumps, you're going to be having a fun time. And of course, third, be ready to gamble. We're in Sin City, Las Vegas here, so if you're not ready to gamble, then why'd you even show up today?
I like it. There was full commitment on that one. Those were some dang good keys to the race there, I got to say, Nick. I like it, but we're going into our broadcast picks here on GridVision. Gonna pull up my pick first. I'm going with Tommy Gossett. I think Tommy Gossett's gonna bring it up to the front of the pack, bring home the checkered flag tonight in the B Open.
Yeah, I'm going with my pick is going to be a pretty good old friend of mine, Dakota Gitterman, man. I've talked to him in a couple of years. He is his guy got the whole race on, so he's going to be good tonight.
Yep, we all love bias in the broadcast booth. We got Dan Shamoon getting picked by our producer, Austin Derbyshire. Sorry, I got to call you out anytime I got the opportunity there. I was talking about Nick. Sorry, correcting the tier broadcaster, or sorry, producer over here. But we're all seats here up in the booth tonight. Lucky for you guys watching at home. As we are finishing up qualifying. Still got a little over a minute to go in the qualifying session. Justin Levine going around the racetrack currently. Tyler Justice coming out for his qualifying lap. We're going to take this moment to kind of talk about our presenting sponsor, Ryco Performance. At Ryco Performance, we're more than a setup shop. We are a performance provider, preparing you weekly with data and setups to get you ahead of the curve of the competition. Whether you're a seasoned simmer or a weekend warrior, our cutting-edge data packs and one-on-one coaching sessions are tailor-made to push the limits of yourself and your virtual race car, giving you the winning edge you crave. Why should you choose Ryco? They have expert craftsmanship by a team of seasoned builders. I mean, top-of-the-line builders performing putting out race-winning setups week in, week out. Cutting-edge performance enhancements tailored to your vehicle, and unrivaled coaching with the reliability to handle the most demanding circuits on the iRacing platform. For more information, visit us at ryco-motorsports.com, where we build champions and deliver results. big thank you to Ryco Performance for putting on the show every Monday night. We get to come out here and broadcast the A Open and B Open weekly, and it's a treat. It's been a treat for the first 3 weeks. I wasn't here last week, unfortunately, but I'm sure we had a heck of a race with it being Atlanta. The B Cars always put on a good show here on the iRacing service at Atlanta, and I expect nothing less here tonight at Las Vegas. We're gonna run down our starting grid though. Starting in the first place position, Quentin Warman with Johnny Avila in second. Thomas Lloyd in third, Kyle Myers in fourth. My race pick to win, Tommy Gossett in fifth place, Justin Levine in sixth, Brandon Schmidt in seventh, Charles Velasquez Jr. in eighth place, Holden McGill in ninth, and Andrew Jones rounds out your top 10.
Starting in 11th place tonight is going to be the 21 of Travis Dart with Charles Seals in 12th, fiddlingly enough, in the 12 car. John Williams in 13th, also fiddlingly enough, in the 13 car with Dylan Murcott in 14th. John Vanderwall going to be starting in 15th with David Collier Jr. in 16th. Mike Bruno going to be starting in 17th tonight with Landon Williams in 18th. Manuel Tolentino in 19th. And Tyler Justice rounding out your top 20.
Michael Thorpe Jr. going to be starting in the 21st place position. Ricky Udding in 22nd. Dan Shamoon, our producer's pick, in 23rd. Jared Bogart in 24th. Cameron Sarton in 25th. Dakota Ehrman, that is Nick Stein's pick, in 26th. And then rounding out our entire 27-car field, it's going to be Derek Garrison here. Getting ready to get this B Open started. Everybody gridding up, taking the final moments to pull those virtual belts tight, get ready to crank those engines and get started here from Las Vegas. Sin City, as Nick Stein put it earlier, can't wait to get gambling here in a couple moments.
You sound like the guy that would really like gambling. Not going to lie.
I might have put a, what was it, a $10 bet on Eric Almirola to win the Xfinity race at Sonoma last year and got $470 on that bet, and might have got the bug for a little bit, but we're we don't do that anymore.
I gave up on gambling when I bet on this year's Super Bowl and missed winning $1,500 by 3 yards.
See, that's the thing, man. It's just so close. What are you betting on there? But racing is kind of. I'm gonna walk myself to a corner, but racing's kind of fun because there's a little bit. If you really know what you're talking about, man, you can beat the bookies on a couple things. I'm up all time on racing. It's pretty fun, man. They miss some things. Like, why the heck is Eric Almirola's odds 4,700 in an Xfinity race? Come on,
when he's the road racing god at road courses in the Xfinity car. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but I mean
he has won. How many out of the last 5?
I should have get $470 off a 10 for Eric Almirola. And Xfinity Series, anyway.
I mean, his odds at the Indy road course where he dominated were like plus 4,000, I think I saw. So, yeah.
Wow, so they made the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
Here we are at Las Vegas talking about sports betting. I mean, that's kind of where it belongs, right? I mean, we're already off the rails and we haven't even had a caution flag yet. Quentin Warman.
Brother, the entire Cup race was off the rails. What made you think we were going to change for the B Open
That's true. We're always off the rails. That's what makes us entertaining. That's our shtick. Anyway, Quentin Warman coming up in turn number 4, going to lead us to the green flag. In just a couple of moments, I always forget how long the straightaway is here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but the green flag is out. Warman leads us down to the start-finish line. We are under green from Las Vegas.
Pretty even start there, but as we get into turn 1, Quentin Warman gets out a pretty good a pretty good lead over his outside pole sitter in that 63 machine. Going down the backstretch, that 63 of Johnny Avila falling back down into 4th, but we got a battle for the lead up here. Quentin Warman and Thomas Lloyd side by side. Lloyd getting a little bit loose off a pole.
Yeah, Warman committed to the outside groove coming out of turn number 2. Just gave the bottom completely open to Thomas Lloyd here. Coming down into turn 3, Lloyd couldn't quite complete the pass, but man, he drove it in deep into turn 3, and he drives it in just as deep into turn 1. Looking to clear the 84 here on lap number 2 through turns 1 and 2. Just about gets clear, but Warman fights back on the outside down the back straightaway. Actually lifts to let Thomas Lloyd in. A little bit of gamesmanship here in the early going.
I tell you what, I think he's trying to save his tires here and let that 14 burn his stuff off. That's one thing with the Xfinity car. You really need to let this car roll into the corner or else you're going to be burning that right front off. And, of course, that's one of my keys to the race. You got to save that right front here tonight. So we're going to be seeing a lot of saving here in this race.
That's the thing. I feel like with the A Open cars, we had a lot of pro guys in there, and I feel like if you're really, really good with a car that you have to save the right rear, even if you burn it off a little bit, you're still good enough that you can hang on to that thing. But man, in the B car where you're saving the right front, if you overstep the boundary just a little bit with it, I mean, you're just tight for the rest of the race, and you can't do anything about it. Doesn't matter how good you are. We've got a great field of drivers in here tonight with SOF in the 5,000s. So, you know,
Yeah,
I mean, it's just tough, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've learned that the hard way. I've committed myself to racing the B car, actually, this entire NASCAR season, and that's one of the biggest things I've had to learn with this B car, coming from the A car, mind you, is that you got to let this car roll. You really need to let this car do the work, or else you are going to be hurting for tires. And, you know, I may have gone down 400 iRating since racing the B car, but I'm starting to get better in it, and I'm starting to get used to it, so hopefully that means a pretty good season for me.
Oh, man, third split is becoming fourth split here up in the booth with Nick Stein.
Unfortunately.
We're looking to rebound, though. The second split's coming, the Retribution.
Retribution, man. I'm going back up to a 3,500 where I was.
He'll find himself there one day, boys. Don't worry about our old buddy Nick. He'll figure it out.
Hey, I can't wait to not have a Monday night or a Friday night where I'm broadcasting, and I'm just going to randomly show up to a top split race and, yeah, just wax the field one day. It'll happen eventually.
Too bad for you. We've got you all season, so it's not going to happen in
that's
2024.
True. Actually, you know what? You don't have me this Friday, so me. Because I'm going to be real life broadcasting.
Oh. My man's got a real life gig.
It's only volunteer, but it has opportunity to turn it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
Shall we continue?
Where were we? We got a little sidetracked there. That's like the fifth time tonight we've gotten sidetracked.
We're over here freaking boosting up Nick Stein's ego in the booth. What in the world's going on, man?
Oh, yeah, you're making me feel good about myself. Oh, yeah. Boo,
yeah, we're supposed to make each other feel terrible. The guys we're supposed to make feel good
you suck, Austin.
Quentin Warman takes the race lead on lap number 7. So Lloyd gets shuffled out in a second on the outside groove. Brandon Schmidt calling him through on the inside here, trying to make a fight for that second place spot, but Thomas Lloyd gets it back on the outside of Quentin Warman. They're going to be side by side for that race lead coming to the line, but Lloyd's going to lose out that time by.
Oh, man, we love having fun up in here in the booth, and, you know, that fall-off is really starting to hit these drivers now. Fastest time sitting into 30.1's range, and these guys are already starting to fall off into the 3s and 4s just after 7 laps, so here soon we really should start to see who's been saving.
Oh, they're making it to turn number 3. Spinning back across the racetrack. Oh, T-boned in the middle of turn number 3. Couldn't quite tell who went spinning towards the back of the pack. We had a little bit of an arc brake moment at the very back. Couldn't quite tell. Cameron Sarton.
Oh.
Cameron Sarton went hard into the side of Manuel Tolentino, who was spun sideways entering turn number 3. Down the back straightaway, got spun by Coiler.
Oh, man. That is tough there. A very hard hit there for both Cameron Sarton and Manuel Tolentino. And, man, it's another one of those glad it's not real life moments, because this was a hard hit.
Yeah, right into the driver's side door. This would have been a tough one. As we're looking at the 9, he gets really late into this, going down to the turn number 3, coming back across the racetrack. 26, Tolentino. And yeah, that was right in the driver's door. If that was real life, that would have been attempted murder.
Yeah, that would have been. We would have skipped right over the big one. That would have been the traumatic one right there. Sorry. Yeah, you got to make an out-of-pocket joke in AO, but I get to make one in BO.
The traumatic one. I think we've had a few traumatic ones here tonight.
Both in the brain cell department and on the racetrack.
Ooh, boy. Ryco's getting their money's worth with sponsorship here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And they get it all season long with my buddy Nick Stein and me, Austin Edstrom, up in the booth. Don't you just love how we could go from talking complete utter nonsense to calling the race, and then right back to being absolute idiots.
Hey, you gotta be seamless in this transition. You gotta go from being professional to an absolute buffoon within the snap of a finger, and you know both of us make it natural. Come on now.
Just like this transition to commercial. We'll catch you on the other side.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split on GridVision. We're coming to you with the first restart of the afternoon on lap number 11, coming to 12. Plenty of laps left to go in this thing as Quentin Warman heads up the front row. Thomas Lloyd has been fighting with him for that race lead for the first 10 laps so far. Warman going to get a good jump here over Lloyd, over Avila. Easily stretch out that gap down to turn 1.
Yeah, that's what we saw there on that original start. Quentin Warman getting an amazing jump there and kind of left that second place car out to dry. And that seems to be exactly what's happening here as Thomas Lloyd is almost getting left out to dry here. Maybe a possible 3 wide moment for just a moment, but they decide to fall back and only be 2 wide. Yeah,
Lloyd's still fighting back to the outside of Avila here for that second place position. Trying to be the first challenger here to Warman for that top spot. Coming out of turn number 4. Taking lap number 13. Thomas Lloyd's going to win out in that battle for second. He's got a little bit of a run on Warman. Kind of gets to that air pocket area and kind of pushes Warman out in front just a little bit. Actually gives him a little bit of boost down the straightaway. Thomas Lloyd just settling down into second place. Johnny Avila in third. Justin Levine up to that 4th place position. Tommy Gossett side by side for 5th.
Headed down the backstretch, I do believe this is Justin Levine making a move forward, 3rd position on Johnny Avila. It is, as Justin Levine here, coming off of turn number 4, gets a pretty good run, considering that he was on the inside there, and maybe possibly making looking at making a move here on the 14 to Thomas Lloyd, but it looks like he may just sit and ride with it here.
Yeah, I thought Levine would have scrubbed a little bit more speed off coming out of turn number 4, wrapping the bottom that tight. I mean, all the way out of the corner, but he was able to carry that momentum all the way down the front straightaway. Now carrying it to the back bumper of Thomas Lloyd for that 2nd place position, but Tyler Justice all over the back bumper of Justin Levine coming out of turn 4.
Side by side for 5th position here, Johnny Avila and Tommy Gossett here as they cross the finish line. That's going to be Avila for 5th place right there, but Gossett has the run into turn 1. Avila, though, sends it into the corner. Meanwhile, right in front of him, Tyler Justice to the outside of the 1 of Justin Levine. And they're going to be side by side here off of turn number 2 and headed down the back stretch, still 2 by 2, as now Gossett has fallen off a little bit of Avila.
Justice trying to make that outside line work around Justin Levine, who's made the bottom side look really, really quick through 3 and 4, but that time Justice just wrapped it a little bit better, gets to the stripe first over Justin Levine. Trying to use that outside groove here in 1 and 2 to complete that move, and I think that he's going to have a pretty good chance to get it done down the back straightaway. Thomas Lloyd up in front of him for that 2nd place position. He actually gets to the outside of Lloyd. Lloyd having to go down to the inside, go defensive on Justin Levine, side by side, entering turn number 3 for that 2nd place spot.
Johnny Avila got a pretty good run there into turn 3. Almost got up to the rear end of Justin Levine, who's got a bucket of popcorn here watching this battle for 2nd position. As now, to the outside, Tyler Justice has a pretty good run, crossing the line, wrecking to the back. Oh, big wreck here. Kyle Myers. A lot of damage on that 81 machine.
Oh, a couple guys still going around down on the apron of turn number 2.
Oh, man.
That was the long
massive accident.
Wrecking all the way down, man. I mean, somebody went hard. Who did you say it was that went hard into the outside wall? I mean, that was
Kyle
an incredible
Myers.
Impact. You're talking about the traumatic one times 2. Well, we just got the traumatic one earlier. We just got the sequel.
Traumatic 2.
If Titanic had a baby. This replay is brought to you by the Titanic. Going down into turn number 1. Oh, man, he just turned hard. He just turned.
Bro. Oh my goodness, it's hard to stay professional.
Kyle Myers kind of just stopped turning left down the front curve away, and he made it straight away, even though it's not. And
he turned too hard right and stopped going left.
He's on a NASCAR oval and he stopped turning left. I mean, that's just kind of what happens whenever you release the wheel from the left, unfortunately. But that was we're coming down for pit stops.
Pit stops here, lap 18. Honestly, not surprising at all, considering how hard these guys have been pushing. Quentin Warman leading them down, and I'm expecting 4 tires and fuel here for the majority of these guys.
Yeah, I expect that to be the safe bet. I don't think anybody's going to stray from the norm. I think we're still outside of the fuel window, right? We got 70 laps
by
to go.
a pretty good margin. Yeah, there's no way.
70 laps to go. There's no way. So we still got a long ways to go. Still got one more pit stop, but this will help them take less fuel on the next pit stop. But they still probably are going to come down for those 4 fresh tires anyway. I think that right front tire is going to be crying by the end of these runs, and we've still got a pretty long stint ahead of us. If this thing runs, if this thing even runs green to the end, I think we're going to probably pit around lap 55. You know, split it halfway. I don't think you'll see anything really before that.
6 gallons short there, so yeah, definitely going to have one more pit stop, as you mentioned. And the way these guys are racing, I wouldn't be surprised to see possibly another couple of wrecks here. These guys have been getting pretty racy here, and I do think, yeah, Tyler Justice with the speeding penalty is just getting ready to say that.
That's going to bring one of our contenders to the back of the pack. We've seen him make some moves, getting dicey up towards the front, able to put himself in a position to fight for the race lead. And as soon as he gets up there, caution comes out. Penalty on pit road. Drop him to the back. Got to do it all again. So Tyler Justice is going to be coming through the field here whenever we get back going. Coming to lap number 20. Not sure if we've got the 2 to green yet. But coming down, we see Justice serving his penalty. Quentin Warman leading up the field here in the lead. Still 2 to green right here. So we still got a little bit of dead air time to fill, and that with me and Nick in the booth is typically not a good thing.
Yeah, because then we get very risky with our jokes.
Well, let's talk about Las Vegas stuff. So,
Sin City gambling.
How many problems? I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah. What's your biggest what's your biggest betting win?
Biggest betting win?
Yeah.
Gonna make me think. Because I was on a pretty good hot streak last year when MLB was still going. I think the biggest bet I've ever won was $600 betting on a Texas Rangers game. Matter of fact, it was actually, I don't know if you watch baseball, Austin, or either Austin, to be fair, but it was that insane game between the Astros and the Rangers that ended up finishing 13-12 Astros. I took pretty much a parlay into that game, and all of them hit, and I won $600 off of a $14 bet.
Holy crap. How big was the parlay?
Shoot, you're gonna make me think here. It's either 6 or 7 legs, I think. 6 or 7 legs, I don't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I was pretty stoked. Let's just say I may or may not have gotten a noise complaint after that.
Well, understandable. That's a pretty big win. Our producer said he won 16,500 Canadian.
Which is probably about 3 cents US dollar, but
no. They're pretty close. They're pretty close.
Sorry, I had to throw a shot.
Okay, so it'd be 12,000 US. That's a big bet win, though.
My question is, what did you bet on to win that much money, Austin?
We just learned that our producer is a degenerate gambler.
$1 slot machine, and this man won $16,000.
Holy crap!
Can I have some of your gambling luck, please?
Holy
I've been on a cold streak recently.
That is mental. Well, we do have a degenerate gambler in the booth.
And you have one that's degenerate every once in a while.
Yeah, I understand. I definitely... It's a relatable problem sometimes, but...
Oh, man.
We got some new contenders up front that did not pit under the last pit stop. They pitted under the first yellow. Brandon Schmidt, Charles Seals, Holden McGill, John Williams, Dylan Murcott, and Mike T. Bruno all staying out under that last caution. Leading the field to the green. Brandon Schmidt on the inside of the front row as the pace car gets ready to take that hard left down onto pit road. Coming up to the restart zone, Brandon Schmidt leads us down. Gets back on the gas, and we're back racing from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Once again, getting in another amazing restart, Brandon Schmidt is, and that's going to be a pretty common theme, I think, tonight, is seeing these guys on the pole that are just, getting a little bit hairy here. Pretty good checkup mid-pack. Quentin Warman To the inside, 3 wide further back here.
Oh, they're door banging. They're door banging down into turn number 3. The 20 and the 84 come together, getting down into the corner. A little bit of argy-bargy here at 170 miles an hour. Doesn't always work out. That time it does, but we're still 3 wide down the front straightaway.
Oh, they're 4 wide for just a moment there, but they go straight back to 3 wide as Justin Levine making a pretty good move there. Now he's sitting behind Tommy Gossett.
As they're all racing hard out of turn number 2, Brandon Schmidt leads the way up front. Holden McGill in second. Charles Seals in third. As we look at this first side-by-side battle, Justin Levine fighting hard with Tommy Gossett. Sorry, that's actually Dylan Murcott that you side-by-side with. My apologies, but a little bit further back. Another hard battle. Oh, 3 wide, getting tight, getting down into turn number 1. Able to all fan out, get it organized before they get down to the center of the corner. Hard fight for position everywhere on the racetrack. I mean, that was from second on back, but man, everywhere we look out here, I mean, it's just a hornet's nest on these restarts. Even in the B Open, you would think they would get a little bit spread out, but it just hasn't really been that way. The A Open was just all up under each other the entire time, and the B Open has followed suit. Quick caution after quick caution. Hard racing all throughout. 3 wide down into turn 1.
Yeah, that's been the thing with these A Open to B Open races. It feels like whatever the A Open is going to be exactly what the B Open is. Even though I will admit this B Open hasn't been quite as wild as that A Open was, this is still some very entertaining racing here. As we're seeing Thomas Lloyd and I believe that is Tommy Gossett making moves here on this inside line. Really looks like that inside line could be a preferred line compared to what we saw with the Cup car and the middle line being preferred.
Warman taken to the inside of Brandon Schmidt, our race leader, down into turn number 1. He dives it down to the bottom, easily wraps down to the exit of the corner, easily in front, but he just doesn't slide up. Oh, he just gets it done in the nick of time, coming down the back straightaway. Looked like he was just giving the outside to Brandon Schmidt there, but he pulls up at the very last second, able to lead him down into turn number 3, single file line, all the way back to 5th place where they're side by side.
Side by side for almost. Now they're going to be side by side for 3rd position here. Thomas Lloyd making a move on Holden McGill. Looks like it's going to be a pretty simple move for that 14 machine, as now Tommy Gossett's going to follow through here. Tommy Gossett now to the inside of the 21 of Holden McGill, and it looks like Justin Levine may follow through as well. Old tires really not prevailing here, even though they're only 5 or 6 laps of a difference.
And you got to think a lot of these guys on the newer tires who are up front before that caution flag even flew are going to be trying to get past these old guys as soon as possible. I mean, just being stuck behind those older tires, not being able to use yours to their full potential, and just wearing them out behind them is just such a detriment, man. So you got to think Levine, Gossett, I can't even remember, Avila, all these guys that were up front before that caution flag, you got to think that they're pushing, and maybe abusing their tires a little bit too much at the beginning of this thing to get back up to the front and get that clean air.
Well, I'll tell you what, these guys that pit on this first caution, they're going to be at a bit of a disadvantage here, as not only are they on older tires, but they're obviously going to have to pit sooner than these guys who pit under this last caution, but that also means they're going to be down a set of tires later in this race, as now things are starting to cramp up here in the top 5. Put a blanket over your top 5 here, as now Brandon Schmidt getting passed by Tommy Gossett.
Yeah, Justin Levine settling into that 5th place position. Tommy Gossett to the inside here. Brandon Schmidt for 3rd place, going down into turn number 3, right behind Thomas Lloyd, who dives down to the bottom of the racetrack, takes all that clean air away from Tommy Gossett. But Brandon Schmidt, man, he started up on the front row, up in the lead actually on the restart, and he is just kind of falling all throughout the pack. As soon as he got past for the race lead, I think that he just wore out those tires really, really quick, jumped out to that early lead, and has just been free falling through the field. I mean, already back to the 5th place position, and he's got a huge pack ready to swallow him up.
Well, you also got to remember, Brandon Schmidt pit under that first caution, so he is on older tires compared to the top 5, and he's still keeping up with them. So it looks like he's saving his tires a lot better than a lot of the other people that are on old tires that we've seen so far. But you could definitely see the disadvantage he's at. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Hip check in between 2 drivers as they head past the finish line.
Hard racing all throughout the field. We're only at the 3rd way mark. We still got plenty of racing to go. Quentin Warman leading the way over Thomas Lloyd, Tommy Gossett, Justin Levine, Brandon Schmidt falling back to that 5th place position. Now in a side-by-side battle with Avila going down into turn number 3. Avila looking to put those new tires to use on the inside, trying to get back into the top 5 after spending most of the early portion of this race up there before that caution period. Kind of threw everything for a loop. Quentin Warman up in the race lead. Thomas Lloyd still fighting on that outside groove. It looked like he's kind of kind of inching towards our race leader, like he wants to put up a fight, but he's still just holding back a little bit. I think a lot of these guys are still just saving.
Here's a name we really haven't called that much tonight. Charles Velasquez Jr. wanting to get in on this battle for 5th position between the 63 of Johnny Avila and Brandon Schmidt here. Velasquez has the run, but he really doesn't have anywhere to go. Is he going to take a 3 wide here? Nope, thinks better of it.
Probably the smart move. It looks like he's just going to push the guy with the newer tires past the guy with the slower tires and follow him through. I think that's probably the best move in the B car. The A car might be a little bit different. I think we saw it work out the other way, but it's not really working out too good here for the 63 on the inside. I thought that Avila would be able to get by Schmidt just as easy as the other 4 could, but Avila's kind of stalled out here behind the driver of the 6.
Jared Mogard, though, coming to the outside of the 64 of Charles Velasquez. Looks like he wants a pretty good shot at some better track position here, but again, got to save those tires here. Got to work on saving those right sides as Velasquez to the inside of Johnny Avila. Side by side, 4th, 6th position. Velasquez, though, gets tight onto the 63 of Johnny Avila, and now he's going to lose the position to Jared Mogard.
Finally starting to see the field string out for the first time this evening. Going down to turn 3, though, we've still got a couple side-by-side battles. Coming out of the corner of the 63 on the outside. I believe that's Avila trying to hold on. He was just putting on the pressure to Brandon Schmidt, but now he's just under fire from behind. Mogard has come out of nowhere, challenging up towards the top 5.
Yeah, Jared Mogard, not a name we've really called in that 00 that much, but he really seems like he's got a pretty good car under him right now. Of course, that remains to be seen, as we're still not even halfway through this race right now. We're still waiting to see, but he's really making that middle line work here. Definitely an interesting one.
Quentin Warman starting to pull away in that race lead just a little bit, starting to just build a little bit of a gap over Thomas Lloyd, up to a little over 0.2 of a second. Lloyd had been right in his tire tracks, right over the rear bumper lap after lap. Maybe peeking out just to get a little bit of clean air, but he's starting to fall back off the back bumper of the driver of the 1, Quentin Warman, leading the way. Tommy Gossett still following through in 3rd place behind Lloyd. I think we're starting to see a little bit of the tire saving here in the middle of the run. Everybody just kind of figuring out where their spot is. The craziness of the restart is over. Let's just tire save a little bit, and let's get to the end of this run, figure out the tire strategy. When are you going to pit? When are you going to come put on those 4 fresh tires? And can we even get to that point?
Yeah, I think we're starting to see that hierarchy form here of those guys who really saved their tires and those guys who really started to push a little bit too hard. As you see guys like Johnny Avila not really able to make the moves necessary to keep up with the leaders here, and others like Charles Velasquez starting to make his moves trying to get up here. And then Charles Velasquez on the wall there.
Man, every time we talk about somebody or something, something happens, man. It's just a crazy curse we got going on us tonight. But Velasquez able to get the ship righted, coming down to the turn number 1, just losing a little bit of time. Still can't get that momentum built up on the bottom side of the racetrack, getting passed by the 63 of Avila. Avila finally picking up a position, but he had lost one to Mogard just a couple laps ago. Sorry, I think Velasquez actually dropping a little bit further back off the lead group than I thought.
Yeah, he got into the wall there pretty good, and that's really going to damage the aero for Charles Velasquez there. And you know, that's one of the bad things about the Xfinity car, even after the new damage model update, is if you even just tap the wall, like look at that. Some pretty hefty damage for the B car, let's be honest. And that was one of the things that a lot of complaints stemmed from with the B cars. If you hit the wall even in the tiniest bit, that was pretty much race-ending damage because it would take too much air off of your car. And, you know, it's not as bad as it used to be but before the B car got the new damage model, but it is still definitely noticeable.
Yeah, but you got to think that was a pretty hefty slap, right? I mean, you would think that you would walk away with a little bit of damage from that one. Velasquez hitting the wall pretty heavy coming out of the corner, so I'd argue it's pretty accurate. That's not too heavy a damage, but it's definitely going to hurt him, like you mentioned. I mean, holy cow, it's going to nag that car the entire rest of the race, and he's going to be off pace, especially as the tires wear out and the handling starts to become more prevalent. Finally came out pretty good, but he'll start feeling that and start dropping through the pack, and I think that could hurt him pretty bad in the long going.
C-tier commentator, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, you were talking about the stutter bug earlier. And that one just, whoo, that was a bad one, buddy.
Spit it out, bro. Jeez.
Man, I announced a basketball game
and it's still going out today, Junior.
I announced a basketball game the other day, and I had to get through 107 names during the halftime, and I did not stutter once. I was so proud of myself. But we're not bringing that energy to tonight. We're the Stutterbug family.
Stutterbug 300.
Brought to you by Austin Edstrom and Nick Stein. Captain Stutterbug and Junior Stutterbug. Wow, you. I was worried about feathering the line. Quentin Warman not feathering anything but the throttle going down into turn number 3. You like that, Nick? You like that? Quentin Warman leading the way.
No.
Coming out of 3 and 4. Thomas Lloyd following suit, but still just falling off the back bumper. Lap after lap seems to lose a little bit of time. That time actually gains a little bit back on Quentin Warman, but seems to be a pretty consistent drop-off that he's been feeling over the driver of the 1. Coming through 1 and 2, though, both still within earshot of each other. Tommy Gossett falling off just a little bit further behind. Justin Levine under fire from Brandon Schmidt, who is on the older tires, actually holding on a lot better than I expected. Didn't think that he'd be putting up a fight with Levine here, who's on a couple lap fresher tires. But Levine holding him off coming out of turn number 4. Maybe not pushing his tires to the full extent. You got to still make it another 20 or so laps. And I'm maybe overshooting that a little bit. Maybe 12 laps before you come down pit road. So I think this would probably be go time if it were me.
Yeah, definitely go time as you get further and further into this run and you start figuring out where your car is for this long run. And like I said, I think that's what we're really starting to see from Thomas Lloyd and Quentin Warman, as they've pretty much almost gapped Tommy Gossett in that 3rd place car, but still, oh, wow, save it, Justin Levine. Oh,
look at that slider. Look at that slider that Brandon Schmidt just threw on Levine in 3 and 4. Holy crap, man. Schmidt did not even care if Levine was going to be on his outside coming out of the corner. That was full send, full commitment to the inside of turn 3 and 4, and power drifted that thing around. Good save from Levine, not getting into the back of him.
I'll tell you what, that looked like Jamie McMurray back when he was still on the 26 here at Las Vegas. That man drifted the entirety of turns 3 and 4 there.
That was a hell of a save. Man, look at that. Have you ever?
No, I've never.
Quentin Warman up in the lead, still able to just pull out this gap lap after lap. Once again, pulling it out to over 0.6 of a second. Tommy Gossett kind of holding that gap steady at 1.1 as they started racing behind him. He's held his gap to the race lead pretty consistent, so Gossett could kind of become a challenger for the leaders here in the last 10 or so laps of this stint. Got to be thinking that these guys are thinking pit stops. When do I come down? When should I jump it compared to the leader? Or compared to the guys I'm fighting at least. We were talking about that fight earlier where Schmidt threw that heavy slider on Levine. Levine seems to be going a little bit further backward now under pressure from Jared Mogard for that 5th place position. Surprises me to see Levine struggling so much on the newer tires, but Brandon Schmidt just coming up through the field, actually running down Tommy Gossett for that 3rd place spot.
Man, you say that. Levine getting dead sideways there coming off of turn number 2. Another great save. He's really struggling with the handling there. Another car getting kind of tight here. 3 wide off the corner for just a moment.
Was that Mogard that got into the wall there? I couldn't quite tell down the front straightaway, but heavy racing here for that 5th place position. Levine just getting crazy sideways. Coming through the corner. I mean, it just seems like he's ran off that right rear a little bit. I mean, he's pushing up in the middle of the corner, really sliding out that right rear.
Oh, man, contact, wrecking in the back. The 8 cars around.
He's going to get saved by the caution. He gets the 4 fresh tires. Only a couple drivers involved, still saving it down on the apron of 3 and 4. My word.
There was another car that went around in that. I believe it may have been the 8 car. The 8 car, Landon Williams, I believe. I don't think it was actually him. Was it him? No, this happened in front of him. I believe this may have been Dan Shamoon.
That's our producer's pick right there.
Yeah, it was Dan Shamoon that went around on the back stretch there.
He's got pretty heavy right front damage as well. Him and Michael Thorpe getting into it. Seams down the back straightaway. Dan Shamoon on the inside. Oh, Thorpe Jr. just comes down as they were in a 3-wide battle. Or actually, sorry, I think Thorpe was behind and just kind of got caught up in that. Dan Shamoon was reacting to a little bit of a hit check there coming out of turn number 2.
And this will put us at about 40 laps to go here, and I do think that these guys should be able to make it from this pit stop to the end. So,
and we'll be able to make it to the end after this commercial.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split on GridVision. From the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we're looking forward to getting this thing kicked back underway with 38 laps to go to the checkered flag.
Yeah, it should be a pretty fun run here. I mean, we got a pretty good, decent green flag run there before that last caution, and we really started to see that hierarchy form of who was able to save their tires, so I wonder if some people may have learned something from that.
Yeah, I think Quentin Warman probably looked the best. I think he's probably who I'd pick at this point. He looked like he already had the tire saving figured out. It looked like he had that down to a T. He was able to take the race lead, still save tires, and actually pull out the gap towards the end of the run. So Quentin Warman looking like the man to beat at this point. Thomas Lloyd looking really good on his outside, looked good on the restart so far. Coming back to the green flag, Quentin Warman first on the gas, first to the start-finish line, easily clears Thomas Lloyd, and Tommy Gossett is having to look for second.
Yeah, of course, Thomas Lloyd not really getting that great of a start there. I mean, that's been kind of the status quo here for restarts tonight. Not really seeing that second place car. Just got to get hosed off that restart and not really able to do anything. So we've really seen Thomas Lloyd start to come back, though, after a couple of laps.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see everybody take it relatively easy because we know that we got to make it to the end on this set of tires. Oh, I say that, and somebody goes spinning out of turn number 4. Right rears it hard into the outside wall, and it actually saves the race car. Dropping back to the back of the pack on the outside. Can't quite tell who it is.
I believe it may have been the 00 there.
That's Mogard. Mogard again. Yeah. Heavy contact.
Mogard.
I mean, dude, he tank slapped the heck out of that thing coming out of turn number 4. Completely destroyed the right rear. He's going to be down and out.
A little bit of contact there between the 20 and Thomas Lloyd in that 14 machine going into turn 3, but they both keep it straight, keep it going, keep this racing going. This has been some pretty good racing here. Brandon Schmidt now trying to side draft the 14 of Thomas Lloyd, trying to keep this battle going as now Schmidt has the run on that outside line, does get a little bit loose though, which allows Thomas Lloyd to stay somewhat even.
Yeah, Lloyd able to wrap that bottom side nicely through turns 1 and 2. Could have came up and side drafted the 20 a little bit harder, but he just kind of concedes the position, and now he's in a fight with Tyler Justice, who is coming back from a pit road speeding penalty. Almost gets into the back of Brandon Schmidt there, coming out of turn number 4. Could have spun him around, but he's still in that side-by-side battle with Thomas Lloyd, who has found himself up towards the front all afternoon. Now getting shuffled back on this last restart, now in a side-by-side battle for 4th.
Yeah, Tyler Justice got a lot closer to the wall than he did the 20 of Brandon Schmidt there, but still kept it straight here, doing everything he can to keep that outside line going. It really seems like that outside line comes prevalent after about 20 laps here in the Xfinity cars. Right now we're seeing everyone, oh, caution on the racetrack.
Spinner back, further back in the back of the pack, coming back on the racetrack. Able to keep it down to the bottom. That's the 20. Dropping through the field. That's Dylan Murcott, I believe, coming back to the start finish. Just a solo car spin out of turn number 4. Couldn't quite tell what happened to him. Probably just got a little tap coming out. Maybe a little loose condition. As we look, this is definitely not the 20 car on the replay, but he'll be somewhere at some point. There he is, down at the bottom of the racetrack, a little bit too late on the camera change there. That's going to have to be a demotion to C-, I think, on the producer, but now he's got it righted back, trying to get a little bit of partial credit as the 20 gets spun right around, coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, just got on the apron there. Maybe he was trying to come down pit road. Not too sure what the plan was there, but ended up with him sideways on the apron, and no damage though, so looks like he should be able to keep going.
Pretty meaningless spin in the grand scheme of things, but a couple guys towards the back of the pack coming down to take tires. Maybe is that their last set? I don't think so. I think they got one more, but regardless, I'm interested to see that some of these guys are coming down to take a set of tires at this point. There's only a couple laps.
Yeah, should be seeing, I don't think really anyone who's contending here tonight will come down pit road, as no one really decided to come down pit road, and for good reason. I mean, there really wasn't any reason to come down pit road, as strategy is not really going to be that much of a factor anymore unless fuel is a lot tighter than I'm sitting here doing my math with.
I'm just surprised to see even people towards the back of the pack. I mean, there was a couple guys 18th on back that decided to come down pit road. Just a little surprised. I get they're trying to make up a couple positions, but I don't know. I feel like using that set of tires is a little useless here. I don't know. Let me ask. They've only got one set of tires left. The front runners.
Yes.
Okay, so they just came down and used their last set of tires. Like that's a lot with 32 laps remaining. I don't like that decision.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of these front runners. Unless we get a late caution, I don't think that last set's going to be used at all here. So these guys are going to get a late caution.
Man. I think it is. I think we're going to get something, and they're going to have no sets of tires left. They're going to get swarmed up.
Yeah, there should be another caution, or well, not should be. I think there will be another caution before the end of this race, but what I'm getting at is if it does manage to go green, I don't think these front runners are going to use that last set of tire. I don't think that we're going to.
I think they would.
I don't think we're going to see any green flag stops.
Well, not green flag stops, but if we get a caution, I think we're going to get some.
Like I said, I literally just said if it goes green, they're not going to pit.
We don't work well up here together.
Yeah, no, we don't.
A little bit too much arguing and a lot of too much racing you're going to get on GridVision. At least the racing outweighs the arguing. That's our motto here. Starting today. But Quentin Warman leading the way.
Starting 1 second ago.
Yeah, exactly. That's starting now. I've just coined it. I'm filing the copyright as we speak.
And I will make sure that copyright gets denied.
That's hurtful. I've got it. I've got video evidence that tampering
with government documents.
This is unbelievable.
Why would Nick Stein do such a thing?
It's like he's got a vendetta against me, man. All we do is call races together. He hates me.
I do.
Well,
it's true.
Hopefully we're coming to the finish of this thing. Hopefully we don't have to have a caution, and hopefully we don't have to find out if the tire strategy from these guys towards the back was good or not. Hopefully it just stays green and it's all fine and dandy, but coming back to the green flag, 31 laps to go. Quentin Warman leads us to the green flag. Tommy Gossett lays back really, really far, but it actually lets him get a pretty good jump, fall into that second place position in front of Brandon Schmidt, who has to block Thomas Lloyd all the way down to the infield grass.
Oh, and he almost got onto the grass there, which in the Xfinity car is a death sentence getting into that grass on the apron, but the 20 car does keep that position in front of Thomas Lloyd. Brandon Schmidt now defending as hard as he can from that 14, just trying to keep that track position.
Everybody fanned out down the back straightaway, now funneling down into turns 3 and 4, wrapping that bottom side of the racetrack. Even the guys on the outside trying to pinch down as close to the middle lane as they possibly can. But up front, Quentin Warman able to get out to a lead over Tommy Gossett. Gossett right in his tire tracks, going down to the turn 1, and they're side by side for third. Thomas Lloyd on the outside of Brandon Schmidt. Schmidt, who did a really good job earlier on the older tires, you got to think, if he can get a long run, he might be able to challenge. If this thing runs green to the end, he might be able to challenge our race leaders whenever this thing gets down to the checkered flag.
Yeah, the 20 of Brandon Schmidt on that long run was kind of holding stagnant with Quentin Warman, not really losing or gaining on that longer run. So, yeah, Schmidt may have a pretty good shot here as Justin Levine thought about looking to the inside of the 6 machine there of Tyler Justice, but thought better of it as, ooh, Tyler Justice now giving a pretty good bump to Thomas Lloyd, who got really, really loose off of turn number 2 there.
Yeah, Thomas Lloyd just washed up coming out of the exit at turn number 2 as the 20 is right now through 3 and 4, able to bring it back down to the bottom of the racetrack, just about gets into the left rear of the 6. Tyler Justice now getting a huge push from Justin Levine down the front straightaway, all over the back bumper of that number 6, getting down into turn number 1 on the outside groove. Both of them just trying to push past Brandon Schmidt on the inside.
Brandon Schmidt getting a little bit tight here as he's got 2 cars to his outside. Levine gets a pretty good run, though, as now Tyler Justice looking to the inside of the 14 of Thomas Lloyd. Lloyd tries to block, but it's actually going to propel him to be side by side with Tommy Gossett in the 16 machine for second place. Off of turn number 4, Tommy Gossett, though, he will almost get clear of the 14 of Lloyd. Lloyd not really having any help here. He's going to try to squeeze in, and Tyler Justice checks up.
Thomas Lloyd doing all he can to hold on to this third place position. I'd be worried that he's burning out those tires just a little quick. You got to take care of him for a few laps after the restart, and man, we're just a couple laps over a few, and he's just absolutely pushing the hell out of those things. I'd be a little bit worried if I was the driver of the 14. If this thing runs green, he is fighting off the driver of the 6, Tyler Justice, coming around the outside to hold on to that position from Justin Levine, from Brandon Schmidt, who is falling back, stuck on that inside groove, cannot get up, cannot find a hole, side by side with Levine for 5th.
I'll tell you what, that 14 of Thomas Lloyd, he was pushing just as hard on that long run to start, and I mean, it ended up with him being right on the rear end of Quentin Warman, so maybe that 14 knows something we don't, and maybe, who knows, but he definitely does seem to be pushing here, and we'll have to see if it does affect him.
Well, he's definitely got it figured out running in that P3 position. He's been up there all night, so I probably shouldn't doubt him, but man, he was just fighting hard to keep Tyler Justice behind. Now it's kind of evened out, though. They've mellowed out a little bit. Single file train down into turn number 1. They fan out a little bit, searching for a little bit of clean air through turns 1 and 2. Thomas Lloyd finds it on the bottom, coming out of turn number 2. Wraps the bottom of the racetrack really, really nicely. And then again, coming down into turn number 3, just a little bit of fanning out from about 4th on back. They actually hold a little bit tighter line to the bottom all through 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 they seem to really have to fan out, find a little bit of clean air.
Oh, Tommy Gossett got into the wall off of turn number 4 there. Didn't hit it too terribly hard, but keep an eye. Maybe it has a little bit of aero damage possibly. Like I said, it wasn't a big hit, but he definitely clattered the wall, and you can see it right there. Definitely some scratches.
Yeah, a little bit of right front damage there on that Ryco Performance Mustang up in the second place position. Ryco holding out the top 3 here in the B Open. Coming out of turn number 4, 24 laps to go this time by.
24 laps, and I think this is where we're going to start seeing people really start to set up their moves for the finish of this race. Of course, we're not really to see anyone starting to push all out just yet, but we're going to start to see the setups start to take place. You know, people are going to start figuring out where the runs are, where they're going to come from, how good the draft is from how far back, and, you know, how deep you can send it into the corner on old tires. So I think this is where we're going to see a lot of people start experimenting.
Justin Levine loses 2 places on 1 lap as Johnny Avila, Brandon Schmidt both get by. Avila through 1 and 2, Schmidt through 3 and 4, but now Justin Levine fights back down on the inside of Brandon Schmidt, trying to throw his own version of the slide job, not quite able to get it done, having to file back in line behind him. Oh, contact behind! Is that Jones that gets sent down to the bottom of the racetrack, able to save it, doesn't come back on. The 19, sorry, that's Ehrman.
Oh no, my race pick running up near the top 5, and now he's going to be all the way at the back.
Tough break there for Dakota Ehrman. Just getting shucked out of the racing groove coming out of turn number 2. Gets the short end of the stick. Does a good job keeping it off the racetrack, not hindering any other races. Keeping this thing under green as we've got 21 laps to go. Coming to 20 as we take the stripe this time by. Johnny Avila is just ripping that outside groove. I mean, he is fence right through 3 and 4 every single time by, trying to get to the outside of Tyler Justice. Oh, caution
on the
out.
racetrack.
Big wreck on the back of the front straightaway. Or sorry, towards turn number
man.
1. That's the start-finish line. Couldn't quite tell who was around. Somebody was stopped towards the start-finish.
That was a 20 car again.
Well,
one of the causes of our last caution.
this is where we can see the split strategy, though. Oh, 20 just got into the left rear and spun him around. 20 comes back up the racetrack, gets it 90 degrees around. Oh, man, full loop coming back across the racetrack. Can't believe everybody missed him.
Nobody hit him.
He was pirouetting through the field and just nobody glanced him. That was a little matrixy there from the 20.
Yeah, I think this is where we're gonna. You said the split strategies. This is definitely where we're gonna see a lot of people come down pit road and use that final set of tires. Because right now we're looking at coming back to green with less than 15 laps to go. So it definitely should see some people come down pit road.
Yeah, I think Levine's probably going to be one of the people that come down. He's been on a downward spiral just about every time that we get about 10 laps in on the tires. He just starts free falling through the field, falling back to the back. Don't quite know what's up with that GridVision machine there back in the 6th or 7th place position back here, running in 7th, but he's been struggling all night.
Shots fired.
That's why I think he's going to come down pit road. Well, actually, everybody else is coming down pit road, so it looks like it's not really a split strategy. I thought we would have some takers, some people staying out, but everybody's choosing to come down and take that last set of tires. Yeah,
not really a big surprise here, as I mentioned, as figured a lot of people would come down pit road.
Two-tire fire out of somebody? Hey, there's a lot of laps left, though.
I was going to say, I don't think with this many laps left, it would be really worth it to take just 2 tires, but you know, it goes back to that old saying, as soon as we say something, we get proved wrong immediately.
I think Tyler Justice might have done it. He's coming out of pit road. Tyler Justice did it. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple of guys that took 2 tires.
Well, Justice making his march from the back, coming all the way up, going to lead this thing, coming back to green, it looks like.
Tyler Justice.
What a story.
Did he get a speeding penalty?
Yeah. No, we better not have. Oh.
He did? Oh, I was about to say, if he got another speeding penalty, I would have brought out the saying, if I had to nickel for every time he got a speeding penalty this race, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's funny that happened twice.
That meme's too long to explain over.
Yeah, that was confusing. I apologize about that.
Hey man, we're off the rails. We're coming down to the end of this thing, right? We've had a pretty fun broadcast here tonight. Even whenever we've had a little bit of lulls in the action, we've been filling the lulls with some laughs up in the booth, and we've probably still got a couple left in us. So stick around. We're gonna.
This is gonna get unhinged quick.
Oh, did Ehrman stay out? Looks like
Ehrman stayed out.
Look at that.
Interesting call here.
So Ehrman stays on the racetrack. Justice on 2 tires. Orman in 3rd place on a fresh set of 4 tires. Tyler Gossett going to be on the outside, though. You never know how well these lanes are going to restart, especially with Ehrman being on old tires. That outside line could be pretty good, and Gossett could find himself in a side-by-side battle with his teammate of Orman to lead the Ryco brigade to try to take that lead away from Tyler Justice or Dakota Ehrman.
I don't think Dakota Ehrman's going to be sticking around for very long because he's on upwards of 40 lap old tires.
40?
Right now, I'm pretty sure.
40,
I'm pretty sure.
Man. I need to see him coming down pit road.
He pitted on lap 49. I was close. He's getting close to 30 lap old tires. That's close.
Okay, there's more. There it is. I like that graphic. Look at this. Hey, look at that. He got his partial credit bump back up. He's back up to C tier. Austin Derbyshire moving back up in the world. We love to see it. Look at that.
Yeah, I would have gone with
quality.
C+. I would have gone up to C+.
No, he's making up for earlier mistakes. So you just,
Oh, okay, yeah. That's right, because that's right, because we demoted him to a D tier commentator last week because he couldn't get a replay going. So yeah, I forgot about that.
It's like the Jeff Gluck race poll. You got a number.
Yeah, 95% of people.
We need a
95% of people think he's an F tier producer, but we're the 5% that think he's the C tier. Oh man, I'm sorry, Darby.
D minus. We're gonna have 15 laps to go. As soon as we take that green flag next time around, 1 lap to green. Dakota Ehrman leading the way, but probably not for long, as Nick Stein just so expertly pointed out. He very well could wreck the field from the front. Was that your pick, Nick Stein? Was that your pick? He was going to wreck the field
No,
on old tires
to win. Actually,
no, that's your pick to wreck the field on old tires.
You're my pick to wreck the field on old tires.
If I was out there, I would.
Yeah, I know you would because you're a second split warrior.
Oh no, I'm a little bit better than
I
Justin
said
Levine.
it.
I mean, Levine's been falling out through the back of this pack the entire race.
Oof, man. Wow, no chill. So we just put a poll in the YouTube chat. Is Austin D a plus producer?
He's gonna bot. He's gonna bot the voting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close that poll because I don't feel like answering that.
Wow. Abstain.
Yeah. The two answers are yes and yes. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and abstain my vote from.
And one of those were definitely him.
Yeah, for sure.
Either way, coming out of turn number 4, hopefully for the final time under caution. Pace car pulls off of the racing surface, coming down to pit road. Dakota Ehrman going to lead us back to green flag on those older tires. Tyler Justice on 2 tires, gets a pretty good restart, able to just about keep side by side with Ehrman, but falls back in line, but holds off from Warman, critically going down into turn number 1. Going to be able to jump down to the bottom of Dakota Ehrman and flow through on the inside groove.
Yeah, that wasn't a good call from Dakota Ehrman. Maybe he was on his final set of tires and really didn't have a choice here, but unfortunately, it's going to be that 19 car falling back, but 3 wide, Tommy Gossett through the middle. It's going to be a pretty easy 3 wide moment for all things considered. We got one loose off of turn 4, but he keeps it straight.
Oh, but somebody else is spinning through the grass, coming back on top of the field, through the middle of the groove, able to keep it straight, but they collect another driver up into the outside wall, but the field is passed. We're going to stay under green.
Oh, who's that?
That's Mogard that was stuck on the inside of the racetrack, but Warman's taking the race lead away from Tyler Justice, who got loose out of turn number 4, almost bended in the outside fence, and it's given Warman a huge gap back to Tommy Gossett in second place, and they're side by side for third.
Oh, getting loose again. It's the 6 car of Tyler Justice getting loose once again. He's been all over the place on this run. Contact behind him. Andrew Jones and Brandon Schmidt coming to blows off of turn number 4. Now they're going to be almost 3 wide here. As, oh my goodness, Tyler Justice doing everything he can to keep that car straight.
Man, Justice, it doesn't look like that 2-tire strategy's paying off. That thing looks wicked every time through 3 and 4. It's just hanging on, man. He's sideways again through 3 and 4. Sliding up in front of Brandon Schmidt, coming out of the corner, almost into the fence. Tyler Justice is struggling, man. He is off the pace now.
Yeah, he's really taking that dirt track mentality into here. Turn right to go left, and it really doesn't seem to be working for him.
No, it's not working one bit. He is way back into about the 10th place position. Tyler Justice, those 2 tires not looking like the call, but we're coming to 11 laps to go here. Quentin Warman hanging on from Tommy Gossett, who's bridged that gap just a little bit. He's kind of closed it now, but this lap he's actually lost a little bit of ground to Warman as Thomas Lloyd right behind him gets a little tight coming out of turn number 4. Puts him under fire from Johnny Avila, and Justin Levine's not too far behind.
I tell you what, we're seeing some of the fastest laps of the night being run here. Quentin Warman with a 29.663, Tommy Gossett with a 690, Thomas Lloyd with a 715, Johnny Avila with a 775. All fastest laps of the race for these guys. So the pace really has definitely been picked up. Stuttering here, Jesus.
Man, that makes me feel good about myself because I've done it a million times tonight, and there will probably be a couple more, but Justin Levine to the outside here of Avila for that 4th place position. Looked like Avila was going to challenge Thomas Lloyd for that 3rd place spot, was not quite able to do it, and now let's open the door for Justin Levine to wrap around the outside of turns 1 and 2, push Lloyd all the way down the back straightaway, give him a little bit of an air bump, and be able to be firmly side by side with the 63 entering 3 and 4.
Firmly within inside 10 laps to go here. Quentin Warman really starting to pull that gap out here as things are starting to get a little bit interesting further back. I believe I saw a 3 wide moment there for just a quick second. But yeah, this Hornet's nest back here of about 5 cars is really starting to kick off.
Yeah, the field has broken up a whole lot more, though. I mean, we've got this one mega pack of 5 cars right here just all under a blanket, but everything else is pretty single file. I mean, I think that this is the first time we've seen this on any type of our or any of our restarts here tonight. It has mostly been pretty daggum wild, and we get down to the last restart of the night, and it all single files out pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Johnny Avila almost got to the outside of Justin Levine, but I believe Avila got into the wall there. A little bit of argy-bargy, as you like to say, there between Levine and Avila. Avila maybe not too happy with the one car of Justin Levine. As he gets to this outside, he's going to run that Larson line all the way up next to the wall.
Yeah, Levine threw a super Speedway style block coming down the front straightaway down into turn number 1. This time Avila with the run on the outside. Tries to get there, but he's stuck in a side-by-side battle now with Brandon Schmidt. Allows Justin Levine to pull away in that 4th place position. Schmidt not satisfied though, hanging on to that 6th place spot. He's looking to the inside here of Avila for 5th. Coming through onto the back straightaway. They're going to be side drafting each other all the way down the back.
Avila gets the run, though, as he's going to have that outside line momentum, but here comes Brandon Schmidt to give him a pretty good side draft. Avila all the way up next to the wall, as he's been doing pretty much all race out of 3 and 4. Brandon Schmidt gets a little bit tight, almost a little bit of contact between the two drivers, but they keep it straight, and Avila's going to clear the 20 of Brandon Schmidt.
6 laps to go. Coming down into turn number 1. Quentin Warman leading the way. Tommy Gossett right in his tire tracks. Thomas Lloyd not too far behind with Justin Levine, Johnny Avila, and Brandon Schmidt all fighting over 4th. Then we got a little bit of a breakaway here. Coming back to McGill, Michael Thorpe Jr., Jones, Williams, all under a blanket here for that 7th place spot.
Oh, Brandon Schmidt getting tight once again, almost getting into the wall off of turn number 4 there. Again, he keeps it out of the wall somehow, but one of these, one lap it's going to break. One lap he may get into the wall here off of turn 4, but here comes Avila to the outside of Levine. Levine getting a little bit loose there, but still gets a pretty decent run, but here comes Avila with a bigger run.
If we get a wreck, I think it's going to be out of this 4th place group. I mean, they have been racing each other hard all night, and Avila's got this crazy outside groove all the way up to the wall that nobody has done all night other than him. And he's just making it work, getting huge runs down the front straightaway every single lap, trying to get to the outside of Justin Levine, who skips over the infield grass there just barely on the inside, slides up in front of Avila and takes away that preferred outside groove.
Justin Levine showing his ability to run wherever Avila does. Avila, though, gets to the rear bumper and gets Levine a little bit loose going down into turn 3. A little bit more contact as now Avila does get to the outside of the 1 of Justin Levine, and they're going to be side by side. Here comes Thomas Lloyd. What happened to Thomas Lloyd? He was up with the lead, and now he's fighting for 4th position here with Justin Levine, and now they're going to be 3 wide for 4th position. Thomas Lloyd at the top, Ryan Avila in the middle, and here comes Brandon Schmidt on the bottom. Levine, though, playing the lines here, and here comes Avila to the inside of Justin Levine. Will he get 2 for the price of 1 here?
And we're stuck in a huge battle now for 3rd, as Thomas Lloyd had that big mistake coming through turns 3 and 4 last time by. As they were racing hard, our front 2 leaders actually both pancaked the wall out of turn 4 as well. Gave up a little bit of time, but it was all for naught for these guys behind who were racing hard side by side for 3rd. Avila, Justin Levine, Thomas Lloyd not giving up after that mistake, and Brandon Schmidt not too far behind, all over the back bumper of the 14.
Johnny Avila gets clear of Justin Levine. Levine, almost a little bit of contact between him and Thomas Lloyd, but Levine's going to keep 4th position for now. He's got a pretty good run here on Avila. Avila, though, takes that outside line that he's been running pretty much all night, as they're going to be coming to the white flag here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to challenge for that 3rd place spot now with Avila just hugging that outside groove, but white flag is out for Quentin Warman. He's been the best all night. Has been stuck up towards the front, even whenever he got shuffled to the back off of strategy, was able to find his way back up to the front of the field, leads the most laps of the event, and is coming down the back straightaway for the final time with a healthy lead over his teammate Tommy Gossett. Johnny Avila with a great run up to the 3rd place position in the final laps. Justin Levine holding on to that 4th place spot, and Thomas Lloyd faltering back to 5th as Quentin Warman comes off of turn 4 for the final time and wins the B Open Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split.
Pretty good race there, I think, all things considered. Not as exciting as the A-Open race was, but still a good race in its own right.
Yeah, it didn't absolutely kick off like the A-Open did, but sometimes those races are just as good because you get a good, clean race to the finish, and that's what we got here tonight. Quentin Warman bringing home the checkered flag and the B-Open. Tommy Gossett, like I mentioned earlier, his teammate coming home 2nd. Good run for my pick. Highest finishers of all of us, I got to say, so... I'm pretty sure, actually, did one of y'all pick Quentin? I'm going to feel really stupid if one of y'all pick Quentin, but nope, I'm okay. I'm all good. I'm all good. We won the picks this round. That's what I like to hear. I love to hear Quentin Warman burning it down on the front straightaway.
Be a lackluster burnout.
We're going to go to our final race results, recapping our top 20. Up on the screen, Quentin Warman, your race winner. Tommy Gossett brings it home in second. Johnny Avila third. Justin Levine holds on for fourth. Thomas Lloyd in fifth. Brandon Schmidt brings it home in sixth with Holden McGill in seventh. Andrew Jones in eighth. Landon Williams in ninth. And Charles Velasquez Jr. in 10th.
Finishing in 11th tonight is the 24 car Michael Thorpe Jr. with John Vanderwall in 12th position. Tyler Justice in 13th with Derek Garrison in 14th. Charles Seals going to finish 15th tonight with Mike Bruno in 16th. Ricky Udding in 17th position with Travis Dart in 18th. Manuel Tolentino, after getting turned earlier in the race, going to be finishing in 19th position tonight with Dakota Ehrman in 20th.
All right, with our top 20 race rundown ran through, we're going to take you to one last commercial break, and then we're going to top to our top two on the other side. Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split on GridVision. From the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we just had a heck of a doubleheader with the A Open and B Open races, and we've got a couple guys standing by for an interview that stood atop the top couple steps of our podium. First up, my buddy Nick Stein is going to give an interview to the second place finisher, Tommy Gossett.
Tommy Gossett, Nick Stein up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great, man. That was a really good race for you. Finished second fiddle to Quentin Warman, but still a very, very good race. You started fifth and ended up second. How are you feeling after that one?
As far as I'm concerned, I won. Ryco won, so at the end of the day, I won. That's really all that matters. Yeah, it was a good run for me, but we got the team won too, so that's all that counts.
You know, I brought that up, I believe, in our Friday night coverage of the Atlanta NIS race. If a team wins, then the entire English. If one driver from a team wins, the entire team wins, and it seems like it's that Ryco mentality you guys got going on over there. Man, talk us a bit through that race. I mean, I know you started in fifth, but you kind of fell back there in the middle of that race and somehow managed to come home with a P2.
Yeah, I was planning on it running long, and so I was saving tires, and the guys were just passing me, blowing their tires off, but we just kept getting the cautions, and it had that feel of a caution fest race, so when in Rome.
Well, congratulations on the P2 tonight, Tommy. Anyone you got to thank?
Yeah, first off, I got to thank Ken. Without him, I wouldn't be doing this. I was in a pretty bad spot whenever he gave me new life on the sim. I got to thank Gossip Bus Lines, Nador Healthcare, Sim Seats. Obviously, got to thank God and my mama.
Good stuff. Congratulations on the P2 tonight, Tommy.
Appreciate it.
Next up, we're going to bring up our race winner. We're going to get to talk to Quentin Warman. Quentin, it seemed like a stroll in the park for you there today. It just seemed like once you were up in the lead, nobody could really touch you. Is that what it kind of felt like there from the driver's seat?
Yeah, that setup was absolutely insane. Me, Tommy, and Thomas were like 1, 2, 3 almost the entire race. It was great.
Yeah, it didn't seem like y'all had much of any challengers the entire night. I mean, y'all were out on absolute rails. I do think that you had to come from maybe mid-pack at one point. How was it getting through the field? Was it any tougher, or did you think that you could just do anything with that set?
It wasn't too hard because we had a huge tire advantage over the guys in front of us. And the race played in our favor, and it went green, so we were able to get a huge lead.
Well, Quentin, was there anything like with the were you worried with any of the restarts at the end, especially with Tyler Justice on 2 tires and Dakota there on none? Were you a little worried that it would all come to blows there in front of you through turns 1 and 2, or were you pretty confident that you were going to come out the other side of that with the race lead?
I had a lot of confidence that I was going to pass them, but I was also a little worried that one of them might make a mistake and like kill me. But luckily, they were able to hold out, and I was able to get around them. Thomas and Tommy didn't have any issues with them either, and we almost had a 1-2-3, but Thomas had a little mistake there at the end. But we all still ran really good the entire race.
Well, Quentin, congratulations here tonight, bringing it home in the P1 position on the broadcasted B Open. Got to be a great feeling. And are there any shout-outs you can give at the end of this?
I'd like to thank Ken and Brandon at Ryco for all they do. I would not be here without them. And I'd like to thank Nador Healthcare, Gossip Bus Lines, and Synseat.
Well, congratulations once again, Quentin. We'd like to thank you for bringing along Ryco here tonight for the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We were in for great 2 races, and it kicked off, or it ended off with a great performance there by a couple Ryco drivers. So congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, that was our race winner, Quentin Warman, bringing home the dub. Made it look easy. He was the best car all night, gotta say. Nick Stein, you got any final thoughts on our doubleheader racing action here tonight?
Oh man, that A Open race was absolutely insane. 2, 3, 4 wide even for a lot of that race, and it was just a fun one to watch. And of course, the B Open was a little bit calmer than that A Open, and it came down to a tire saving race. And sometimes you need a tire saving race instead of all out chaos. So I think it was a pretty good night all in all.
Well, that's gonna do it for here. Holy cow, that's a great way to sign it off. That's gonna do it here for us at GridVision with the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. I've been Austin Edstrom. Probably shouldn't put my name out there after that big fat stutter. Staying along my buddy Nick Stein and Austin Derbyshire in the production booth. Be sure to tune in Friday night as we have the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split NIS Open. We'll see you then.